evening, all you lovely, and welcome once again to the official topic talk. Tonight we've got a special guest, Terry Dicko. He's a very colourful character. He was once a very renowned debt collector up in the Teesside area. Terry, welcome to the official topic talk, sir.
Thanks very much for having me, Steve.
I mean, thank you ever so much for letting me have a bit of your time to get your story out there. And you certainly lived a colourful life, sir.
I'm the little bastard of Teesside. I've been there and back. I've always had a good heart.
Let's take it all the way back to the beginning. I know there's some subjects I want to cover with you, but let's take it all the way back to where it all started for you.
Well, I'm from a place called St Hilda's in Middlesbrough. It's cut off by the river and the railway, commonly known as over the border. A strong Irish Catholic community. We're all Irish descent, and but a marvellous community. We had an out, but people stuck up for each other. If that went wrong, or someone got injured, or someone died, you'd have a collection. You'd have people there for it. Marvellous community. A bit of feud and go on, one neighbour fall, but in all, now it's gone. People even today, I see it on Facebook, marvellous community, best community, for all our lives we were stigmatised, but marvellous community, absolutely. I'd move back tomorrow if it was there.
And where did all the mayhem start for you?
I was always a mischievous little bee. I see the funny side of everything. Even Brian will confirm that. I see the funny side of everything, and I just see it's just the way I am. That's my life. But, the mayhem is because I've caused murder, I suppose. I love a bit of shit staring, to be polite. I don't do it to hurt anyone. I love a wind up, and it's gone on from there. But laughter, madness, and mayhem. People think the way I've gone on, I must be mad. The mayhem I've left behind me. But I've always had laughter in my life. I watched Dave Courtney the other day. He said, thank God I've always had that laughter. And I'm the same. The laughter is very important to me.
I mean, there has been one or two incidents, I mean, in your life. And I think the one that stands out the most was the one to do with the egging of the Middlesbrough Prime Minister.
Well, what he was actually, he was an MP of Middlesbrough, a Labour MP called Stuart Bell. He was actually a Knight of the Realm. He was Sir Stuart Bell. 16th July 1991, we left the babysitter in charge of my son. He was abusing my son, and when he came on top of him, or when my son said, I'm going to tell my dad, he got him out to murder him. Smashed his head in with a wall brick, strangled him. Luckily enough, and thank God, I found him in the alleyway near some property I owned. Raced to the hospital with him. He was in a coma for 3 days. As soon as he come out the coma, he immediately named him John William Sykes. Admitted abusing 80 other kids, and Cleveland Police covered up. But when we come to Stuart Bell I've never been into football. The football terraces, you had like the Cleveland abuse scandal, and one team would be hurling insults at Middlesbrough. It was actually a load of rubbish by Marietta Higgs and Jeffrey Wyatt. There were two doctors who thought that found anal annihilation, I think it was called, that these kids had been abused. They hadn't been abused. They were perfectly innocent. People had killed themselves. But the point I'm coming to, Sir Stuart Bell, the hypocrite of Middlesbrough, wrote a book on the Cleveland abuse scandal called When Salem Comes to Borough, meaning the witch hunts. As I said, it wasn't a witch hunt. Anyway, I asked him for help. He wouldn't help me. I put posters on his front gate of his house, on his back gate. I plastered Middlesbrough posters about the police and everything. Every chief constable since 1991 was corrupt. I've never met the present day one, but I will be writing to him about it. It's been 31 years. It's not my nature to give and let anyone get away with it. But what would anybody else do with the children? So the point with Stuart Bell, He was in the Winnie Banks Community Centre, and he said, "Who's next?" I said, "I'm next." He went, "Next." I said, "I'm next." He said, "I'm not interested." I said, "What, you're not interested that my child was left for dead and you were our MP? You're not bothered?" "I'm not interested." The policeman who was there said, "Oh," he said, he calmed down. Look, the copper, as you know, I don't have police officers with my friend, but this copper was a nice man. And he went, "Oh," he said, I walked out. Then I planned revenge for him. And it might have been a couple of years later, 3 years later, I got him at the Senator. We just shaking hands with the other dodgepot in Middlesbrough, Ray Mallon, Robocop. And another one said he'd help me, got a pen and paper and done out in his office when I met him when he was the mayor. Hugh Bell was just shaking Ray Mallon's hand. Everybody knew I had the egg, and I was just waiting for the right opportunity, and I smashed it over his egg. And I said, that's for my son. He tried to hit me with an umbrella. So when I got charged, I said, I want him charging. "Oh, he's not coming to court." I said, "He's got to come to court." Anyway, my solicitor, they're all bent, they're all dodgy. Solicitors, the police, and everyone else. So I got a £170 fine. And I'd like to take this opportunity, and I've said it before. There's a lovely lady called Joan McTeague, who was a local councillor from an housing estate in Middlesbrough called Beechwood in the Easter side. Lovely, lovely lady. Still in touch with her now on Facebook. Lovely lady. Couldn't emphasise how much, I appreciate what she's done for us. She offered to pay me fine. I'm old-fashioned, Steve. I believe it's a man's place to pay. And I certainly wasn't going to take £170 off a lady. No way. So that was where that went. I'm still fighting them. I'm still at them. I went in the police station. I took their posters down and put mine up. And I said to a copper who went to me, he wanted to question me on something, "Look at the state of that kid." He went, "Oh, that's terrible." I said, "That's my son." "Who put that?" I said, "I put when you take it down, I'll put another one up." But what it is with me, I'm defiant. If I know I'm in the right, I'll speak my mind and say my piece. And I don't fear. If someone's not happy, well, I'm not bothered. I'm not out to offend anyone. I consider myself a nice, polite lad. But I'm also, I'm out of all violence. I'm not involved in anything. But I was one naughty man, a dangerous man. But, but is that why they didn't want to help with my son's case? I'm not sure. But that's just one of the instances in my life.
I mean, is there any stories that you could actually talk about going back to when you was doing a bit of debt collecting, or is that something that can't be spoken?
I've got some marvelous stories. Here's a belter for you. Me and Brian goes to went to see these Asian kids. I went to see an Asian fella. Some of the Asian lads had sent us down there, said he owed them £1,000. When we went and pulled the proprietor of the building, where my old school was, he went, "No, they owe me it." So we then said, "Is this true?" "Oh, well." So the people who sent us to do the job told us he owed them £1,000. When we spoke to the man, he went, "No, they owe me." So Brian said, "You owe him it." So they had to go and get the money. And they give the Asian lad his due. He said, "Keep that. Thank you very much for being decent with me." I've got some belters. Me and Brian used to bounce off each other. We think the same. I'd be in the pub. I'd hear someone talking. And I'd say, "You had a problem. We can sort it out with me and Brian." We'd go and sort it out. We get paid. But we also always said that, "Have you got any debts? We're not exclusive. Have you got any debts?" "Oh, well, so-and-so, right, when you pay this, we'll get that debt in." We've done that loads and loads of times. But we went with one one day we went to Yam. We went and seen this guy. He had a massive furniture store. And we went downstairs shouting, "Oi, oi, oi, ain't no one there." Goes upstairs, full of mattresses downstairs, a new building. Goes upstairs. A little Thai bird sat there. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful. A little Thai bird there. And I said, "Excuse me, love, is so-and-so in the husband's name?" I won't mention his name. And she went, "Go to that door, window, tato." I'm laughing. Brian's going, "I can't help myself." I opens the door. The guy, I went down like that. We'd already clocked him outside. But what an ugly bastard. I'm sorry for my language. But he was that ugly. And he brought the ugly bed back with him as well, the tie bed. So I said, can I have a word with you? He comes up the stairs. When he comes up the stairs, he went, I said, Dave, get his name out, sorry. I said, Dave, we've come about the money of our friends over the water. And he went, he owed some people some monies anyway. So what we actually done, we went, right. I said, how much have you got on you now? Brian stood near the chest of drawers. He's on the end and I'm here. So I said, how much have you got on you now? He went, I'm not sure. So I took his wallet off him, counted 500 quid out, give him the empty wallet back. I said, well, take this as a starter. He said, no, that's what he said. I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay. I promise you I'm going to pay. Well, I took the wallet off him. I'm going to pay before the naughty people come. I knocked on the top of the drawers. I had a naughty people. Anyway, got the money, went back. We were going to go back a week later. Oh, sorry, a fortnight later. He phoned us up. He said, will you come and get the money? I just want to get it sorted. But before that, he said to Brian, I recognise you from somewhere. I said, yeah, he was on my show, McIntyre. But this is what it was like with us. We were always joking, always having a laugh. Anyway, so we'd done this for years and years, work together. Brian had come over to my club. He'd bring a bottle of Bacardi to the steam packet. He was never greedy. People loved him. He was always polite, courteous to people. It wasn't on me or this, none of that shite. Anyway, Boyle. Shall I move on to Boyle, or if you want to go somewhere else? Or?
Well, there was only one thing. Can you tell me about when Alex Higgins came to town?
Oh, yes. I'd already met Alex several times. Alex used to come to the Dickens Inn to see a friend of ours called Tony Spenceley, the owner. He also owned Inn Off the Park, which was snooker tables. Anyway, he comes in the steam packet one night, which was the legal drinking then, an old pub. Anyway, I'd open up about 12, well, I wouldn't. I'd have someone open up until about 10 the next morning. I would, are you shut, Terry? Why have you still got money on you? Yeah, well, we're not shut while you got money. Anyway, Alex Higgins came one night, and there's a friend of mine gone now called Francie McKenna, God bless him. A scaffolder, Francie, lovely lad, always messing about, always. You know. Anyway, Alex Higgins comes in with a Crombie on and smoking a joint. So my friend said, give us a draw that, Alex. Back up your English bastard. Back up your English bastard. I can still hear him. Anyway, next to Luz, him and Francie rolling on the floor. He's got all of the bit of joint out and Francie trying to grab it while they're on the floor. Alex Higgins' coat waffling. I thought he was mounting Francie for a moment. But yeah, I've had all sorts in. You know, I've had, you know, people have come in my place and people from all walks of life. But, you know, you meet characters in life. If you're a character, you attract characters. I've always considered myself polite. Naughty polite.
I'll just touch on quickly. I know you've also received a Home Office award for the good that you've done in the community as regard to the antisocial behaviour. And I do believe also you've created a play area, haven't you?
Well, what basically happened is a kid next door nearly got knocked over by some young lads stealing cars. And what they actually done, they were coming down the street where I live, Vine Street, running along the end of it was 9th Street and a common. There was units, factories there before I was born. Anyway, well, when I was a little kid, factories there, and they'd been knocked down and the air had been grassed over. There was a bonfire. Bonfires on there, cars burned out. Anyway, I said to the young lads, I know them, they were nice kids, bored. I said, you're going to have to stop this stealing the cars coming down the street. I asked them nicely. I said, the kid nearly got knocked over. I asked them not so nicely. In the end, I told them. I said, right. So I said to my nephew, my brother has skip businesses. I said, bring that JCB up. I asked my brother's permission. So I said to me nephew, bring that JCB up here. And where the council be knocking houses down, they put big lumps of sandstone, massive lumps. Grab a couple of them, put them at the end of the street. Then one of the kids who was stealing cars said to me, Teddy, do you want to buy some wood? Yeah, I'll buy some wood. And I put 20 quid out. We're trying to grab it, I said, not that easy. Why? Do you want the wood? I went, yeah. I said, I'll give you 20 quid. Well, give us the money. I said, no, you got to make a picnic bench. We can't. I said, I'm going to show you. So 2 or 3 hours, made the picnic bench. And the reason why I done it, it instilled into them they can achieve something. So, I mean, I had a pond in my garden, 21 foot, full of koi carp. I was doing something bent down, half a wall and a fence round. And I heard the kids, the lads who helped make the bench, I heard them say, anyone touches that bench, kill him, we made that. So I didn't instill belief in them. Then what we done, we put shrubs up. I put a 5-a-side pitch, a badminton court, a running track. I got my brother to tip loads of soil, made a BMX track. And I also made a log cabin where I put on the wall with a veranda on. I also got a friend to paint on the wall. We had angels with dirty faces, not the dead end kids. Now, the saint and the sinner. The sinner was an armed demon. It had a black eye. It had Ray Malin, the mayor's ex-Robocop faces on. It was tactical opinion of him. With the sovereign ring on, the black eye. And they've got hold of the male chain. It's not your chain, it's Ray's. Now, the reason I done that was a bit of a wind-up, because when Ray Malin became mayor, and people weren't happy about him because the corruption, what he was involved in and what went on, allegedly involved with, he hid the mayoral chain under the stairs in the cupboard. They didn't want him to be mayor. So they were taking the piss. Anyway, Ray Malin come out, other dignitaries come out, and they laughed about it. But I got told, some council know that when they went back to a private meeting, Malin said he'd never felt so shown up for what Teddy Dicko done to him. Well, it was a bit of crack. I'd done what I'd done, put my time and effort in for the kids. I also got invited to the Champion North Awards, which was run by the Sunday Sun and Pubmaster. Now, the editor of the Sunday Sun was a friend of mine, Peter Montelier. I'm an Irish guy, and he was the deputy at the Gazette, and I was having meetings with him regarding the police corruption and voices. So I found it very rewarding, but I've always had that community spirit. I had marvellous parents who always said, son, to all of us, that was 5 of us, always got your way and help people, always try and do a good deed. You might do one today, you might do 3 or 4 the next day. And I've always had that in my mind. I didn't put a bonfire display on for years and years with the kids, with the full community out, with all the pictures and everything. And even today, 3 weeks back, say, 3 weeks back, I was in the pub, and one of these young kids who was grown up over there, who helped me do the community works, helped me put shrubs in, he said, in the pub, can we buy you a drink? I went, no, you're okay. Well, let me buy you a drink. We haven't forgot what you done for us when we were kids, which is quality, you know what I mean? It's quality. It's quality. Made me feel proud, but I done it because that's the way I was brought up. You know, I do like helping people. I think that you know, there's too much shite going on in the world. There's too many backstabbers. You know, if you can go your way and help someone, do it. Only last Sunday, my missus said she heard a noise and she come from the bedroom into the front room. She went, Chris has fell over. So I goes out. This guy must have weighed 23, 4 stone. I'd asked the neighbour to help me pick him up. He'd walked up the path with his handrail. On one side was mud and he slipped, went down there and we got him up. You know, I went back, he said, I'm all right. He was a bit embarrassed. He walked to his house. I went back in my missus' house, put my jacket on and went up to check, see if he was all right. He got in, he was okay. So I felt satisfied. Tuesday gone, I'm walking down from Lidl and I looked over the road, a lady, grey lady, on the floor, all her nose bust. I helped her up. I asked another woman to help me. I didn't want to put my hands under her, you know, a bulb. So she helped me. But that's what you do. That's what you should do in life. You know, if I see an old woman struggling to put her shopping in the car, I say, can I give you a hand? But bearing in mind now, there's that many smackers and that many robbers and God knows what. will take advantage of something like that. People are reluctant. If you see a kid crying, you're a little reluctant to go up and say, "Are you okay?" Because how paedophilia has come out in the open. So I've always had in my mind to do good deeds and help people, and I find it, for me, rewarding.
I mean, that's excellent. That is. I mean, but it hasn't all been nice as pie, has it? I mean, I know you've gone through hell and back, the same as Brian has recently with a very well-known character called Tim Foyle.
Well, I call him the false author. I call him the false
Fake,
author.
fake author. I mean, would you like to?
Well, I can elaborate on this. I got a message. One of my best friends, Rob Summers, we were in the antique game together. We were always out buying stuff. And but he's not buying stuff as well. But he got in touch with me, said that this daughter, the false daughter, wants to speak to me. Okay. I said, yeah, I'll speak to him. So when Robert told him, he was doing research on Lee Duffy. Robert said to him, you got to go and speak to little Terry. He then spoke to Neil Booth, who was Lee's pal. You got to speak to Terry. He then spoke to another guy who said, you got to go and see Terry. Lee loved Terry. Anyway, so he got in touch with me by text. I texted him back. Did they have any stories on Lee? I said, what, loads of stories. Loads of stories. Think you can give me some? I met him, I'm an go to public health. You think you can give me some? I said, well, I can give you some, but I'm not going to give them all because I'm going to write a book myself. Oh, yeah. I went, yeah. I've got an author and a publisher, he told me. Okay. He then come back and he said, look, I've decided I'm going to write your book. All right. So I was giving him stories on Lee, but in hindsight, he wanted these stories on Lee. He wanted these stories, and I was giving him bits at the time. Anyway, I decided to. I have a beautiful little girl called Ruby, and I decided to write the book for her. I looked out my kitchen window, and there's Ruby talking in her hand. So I went out gently. I'm having a podcast. I can't talk. I really want to ready. Sorry about that. My missus. Anyway, so the little girl had a woodlouse in her hand. When I pulled the fingers back gently, it was my favourite insect. She's about 2.5. Woody woodlouse. I laughed because of my favourite insect. Our child can be like and have the same mannerism. She has my wits. She's always joking on. Anyway, I wrote the book for her called Ruby's Garden. And we have Colin the Crow, Malcolm the Mouse, Millie the Moth, Woody Woodlouse, 11-leg Sid, the disabled centipede who's nicknamed Clip Clop, she even coming. Wrote a little story, 29 pages. And Paul said to me, sorry, beg your pardon, the false author said to me, would you tell me some stories? Oh, we'll tell some stories on Lee. I said, well, I want this book printed for my little girl. I want you to get this book printed. Yeah, I promise. Now, I wrote a couple of poems for Lee. I never wrote a poem in my life, but I wrote these poems for Lee in the Blood Moon book. And, you know, one's called The Duffer and one's called Durham. The publisher said that to the false author, they're marvellous and they're absolute. So the false author said, can we use the poems in the book, in the Blood Moon book? I said, well, they're going in my book, in my second book, The Madness Continues. He went, yeah, but I'd like to use them. I said, you can use them on one condition, that you publish my little girl book. Yeah, I'll do it. Anyway, he never done it. He said to Brian that that won't make money, but he told me they were marvellous. The book was marvellous. Other people, well, let me say this, Steve. I put it on Facebook. I don't know how. Messing about, I got it on. I'm computer literate. I put my hands up. I haven't got a clue. Anyway, I'd had 1,000 views, which is good. You know,
that's excellent.
Over Ruby's story. In actual fact, a guy got in touch with me. I don't recall his name at the moment, but a guy got in touch with me. He said, for a friendship. So I accepted him. Well, I can't name his name. Anyway, I accepted him. He then texted me, thank you very much. I said, no, it's okay. He said, look, I'll tell you what it is. My daughter is a manager in a nursery in York. And what it is that the kid she looks after is nursery. He said the kids would love that story. Where can I get the book? I said, look, I'm going to get the book printed. I'll give you a copy. And you can, the videos, obviously, you can download the video. So as I'm in the garden, I put Ruby's garden, put the street names at where I was born, where my miss was born. Went to Ruby Mays Cottage Garden, Bug House Hotel, and all sorts. I even had the characters from the book painted on the wall. So then I realised that it's on Kindle. What had happened? The false author, his publisher, put on Kindle. I'm not saying what they made or what they didn't make, but my little girl never got a penny. So that's why we're in this situation now. I wish, truthfully, I'd never met the man. I wish I'd never met his equally vile wife, and that's me being polite. There is measures in place where they're going to be held accountable. I just feel as though that he twisted everything I've said. Like, he's told lies. Look, I am Rads. I'm in Gambia, and the black guy said, just stand over the crocodile. They're about 6 foot long. Just stand over them. So me being an idiot, and I've got my best pal, Norman Victor Cornelius Howard, behind me, otherwise known as Nosher the Nut. Next, as I stepped over the crocodile, he kicked it in the belly. It rattled between my legs. Now, it's all right 30 years later or 40 years later, seeing your grandkids, when they ask how do you get that scar? Oh, crocodile bit me. You know, but I wouldn't dream that they were 6 foot. He twisted in the book that I stepped over a crocodile at the edge of a river. I'm not that daft, or maybe I am. I was in Gore in India, and I was going to jump off the boat for a laugh. When we come round the bend, there's an 11-foot crocodile on the bank. I said, it's fiberglass till it moved forward. You know, and I just, Nosher the Nut. We're in Gambia at a safari park, and just lying half asleep, about 3-year-old, not a full man. You know, hello, Leo, and kicked it in the head. Well, it went berserk. We're running through the area, wooded area. Next minute, I said, you could have got me killed. Next minute, there's the monkey there, and he said to the guys, the warders, whatever they were, can I feed the monkeys? Yeah. We got a handful of nuts and smashed the monkey in the face. Now, the monkey wanted me. And he's holding me like that. Anyway, we've laughed about it only recently. But I've been crazy, done daft things, but when he put it in, I've stepped over a crocodile down by the river. I never done that. He said that I'd driven a wagon on the dock. I never driven a wagon on the dock. They said that there's a lot of inaccuracies. The books I give, I didn't give away, I sold, and I give the few quid to the homeless. But I think I'm learning my lesson a little bit with that one because I've got no books left. I'll give them away. But the first thing what I did do actually, I put 40 of my first book, Teddy Dicko, Laughter, Madness and Mayhem, and then in the box they come in, I then put 10 of my second book, The Madness Continues, and I took them to Wormhouse Prison for the prisoners. It's 500 quid. But I don't think like that. I think if you can go out your way and help people and do some good. I even give them a poster, and I've been told since then, friends who've been in there, oh, we've seen you in the jail, you haven't seen me in the jail. No, your poster. I said that was the idea. I might have been in there, but I wasn't doing time. But the inmates were very happy about him. The prison librarian was over the moon. Couldn't thank me enough because how it came about. Jamie Boyle said that Jamie Boyle, sorry, I wasn't going to mention his name. You'll have to take it out, can't you?
No, it's good. It's good. I don't care.
No, I don't care. It's the truth. Anyway, what basically happened is how it came about. Paul Sorter turned on and said that these people had been to Waterstones and they'd actually asked if they've got any booksheet books or cheap books, damaged books of Teddy Dicko and Lee Duffy and Teddy Dicko. Because what it is, when we put the books out, they must have been in the bottom. When we put them out in the library, they keep going missing. So our bit of fun was, well, what, the thieves in there, they're thieving our books. So I took 500 books over, and actually, in fact, I got in touch with the lady who actually went to Waterstones. I said, I relayed the story to her. I said, you went to Waterstones, yeah? How do you know? I said, because they've told me. But what's it got to do with you? I said, I'm Teddy Dicko. I said, what I'd like to do, I'd like to donate. Oh, would you do that? I said, of course I will. So I'm a good-hearted man. So he was absolutely over the moon, happy what I had done, and the prisoners were happy what I'd done. But that is just, it's nothing, is it really? I just think that for me. So coming back to where we at, where the situation worsened and darkened, is I've been friends with Lee Duffy for years, and the last 30 years I've stood by him. Say 28 years, 3 years ago, 2018, Boyle made a Facebook page up for me books to be sold, and he basically turned around and said that to Carol Edwards, who's the mother of Lee Duffy's children, that in my Facebook page, Teddy Dicko, I'm going to give it with both barrels. What I know on you. First of all, I'd like to say this. I never, ever in my days known Lee and you, Carl. I hadn't seen him for 30 years, yeah. But I've got nothing ill to say about Carol. I don't know nothing about her. What I'm going to give with both barrels are absolute untrue, lies. And what I find so offensive, he threatened the son. Lee's daughter, Sammy Jo, can have a fight. She wasn't very happy about me. And Brian and Emma, thank God, persuaded and explained to her that I'm computer literate. Teddy wouldn't do that. But why would I do it when I've stuck by Lee for 31 years? And as I say, Peter, his son, he said that I'm going to do him as well. We have a friend called Lee Marsh, lovely lad, nice, polite, stocky lad, lovely lad. I've never seen him be aggressive, but I believe he can handle himself. He said to me, Terry, take some good advice. Watch him. Watch Boyle. He's a wrong one. Anyway, I didn't listen. And he said, you'll find him out. Next thing I went back, I had to go back to Lee on Facebook, messaging Lee, I owe you an apology. You don't know me an apology. It's just, sometimes we have to find out the hard way. So I found him out what he was. I also said, would you do a book with Brian before this? So when he got Brian, he thought, I didn't matter. He put things in the book about my nephew. He was dictaphoning me. He's telling me he's an author. Phones on. Types away. Brian said, and shows how you type. It's one finger puncher. Well, I'm no better on my phone. But the issue is, the man's a false man. He's a liar. He's not an author. He's not a director, as he's bragged to be. He's not a filmmaker. What he is a deluded drughead who needs to get some serious help, because what he's got coming to him lawfully, he wish he'd never said what he's done. He actually I know about me, Brian, and Marty Tern. Marty Tern is a 76-year-old gentleman who wrote a book from Boys to Champs. Cornelius Carr was under his wing when he had him training. Lovely man, well respected, well loved. And I don't know what to say. Marty's losing his mind a little bit, and he's on an oxygen tank. And he said to me and Brian in Brian's front room, would you make sure that if how happens to me, he doesn't get away with it? Well, thank God and thank the courts and thank the support of Emma and Brian that Jamie Boyle didn't get away with it. He's had to give the book back. Now they're going for a money order on him. Brian's been giving his book back, they're going for money order. I'm just waiting for the court papers to come back. They're taking the court. He keeps saying that there's no court issues, there's no court cases. Please let me assure you, I don't tell lies. There is court cases. I've actually showed my paperwork, but at this moment in time, I put the paperwork and I forgot to put the case number on. So I've had to go back again, and that was 9 weeks back. It's 8 weeks back. Now they said they had a 5 weeks delay. So I'm gonna give them a rattle on Monday and see where I'm at. But these court cases, that paperwork will be put up by Brian to show that there's Teddy's paperwork to prove everything we've said. I think everybody believes that. At one time, people think, is it us, is it them? But I just can't, for me personally, I can't understand why somebody would want to go and abuse people the way he does. And let's face it, I mean, he's only a little fat all right. He can't fight. He said he was a boxer. that he got the ABA finals with his left hook. He said that to a guy called Dale Brendan Hyde, a lovely lad. And I can't, Steve, believe me, honestly, I have a terrible sense of guilt. Part might be me post-traumatic stress. I suffer over what my boys kids. I passed a comment. Dale Brendan Hyde was wrongly accused of a crime. Boyle filled me head full of shite, saying that he's done this and done it with 12-year-old kids. Models call him a paedophile. You know, Dale been totally exonerated. He's totally cleared. You know, some woman had said that he'd raped them. He'd done 80 months or so in jail. The man's wrote a book on it. I believe it's a bestseller. And Boyle then said to him that me and Teddy Dicko coming down to see you with baseball bats and knuckle dusters. I've never ever in my life discussed this with Boyle. But he did say, and one day Dale told me up in the end, I called him an aunt. because I'd lost, I suffered post-traumatic stress. My head was up my ass with everything else going on. And I slipped saying that, and I've apologised, but I don't know how many times. I feel really guilty and I feel really bad. But what my point is, how did I allow a tour rag like him to get into my head? And when I go out, I'm full of fun and full of laugh, and people say he's Teddy will have a laugh. And I think that's a must, it's a good thing. But with him, because if somebody or someone that has got a different opinion to his or his wife's, then you're in trouble. So I'm computer literate, as I've said, you know. Someone showed me at then, but I'm too old to go back to school, I think. But where I'm at now, Steve, is that with him, he said, we know I wouldn't say victims, because there'll never be a victim that told that in my life. You know, I've told him to come and meet me. You know, I'm getting too old and too wise for it. I'd still bust his face in if he wanted. Threatened to murder me, threatened to murder Brian, threatened to rape Emma, threatened to kill the dog and burn the house down. He's even on video stating to a lad who lives up near him, who questioned him about the videos of Lee Duffy, the Lee Duffy documentary, and the book. He never got them. So the lad questioned. Boyle is then seen on video. I'll kill you, I'll fight one hand behind my back. Who do you think is the fucking line off the Wizard of Oz? He's a tour rag. He's an absolute tour rag. Put him up. So when he was in London, he's saying that I'm going to come back and I'm going to fight you. Teddy Dicko is shit bigger. Well, I live at number 3 Liverton Avenue, the bottom of Acton Road. It's a cul-de-sac. Just come and knock on my door any day of the week you want. Text me first, so make sure I'm in, and I'll come and answer the door to you. You couldn't do nothing to me. You've never shit bigger than me because you only shit yourself, boy. And when you go, you know, at school, you go and grasp people up the prefects. I knew none of this. And what I find offensive, Steve, what really gets to me and annoys me, is I've introduced him to good people. He said to me, do you know so-and-so? Yeah, how do you know them? How do you know them? I said, I do. I've met everyone, you know. I went to a funeral in London, Billy Ambrose. I got introduced to Freddie Foreman. I've met Frankie Fraser, but only had to do a book. But I've met loads of people, and I'm a well-respected lad. But I'm a very polite lad. But it's come to the stage, and you got to draw the line where you look at the likes of the false author and his equally malicious wife. That something's got to be done. And the only way these are going to be stopped is by the police. Now, we believe that he's working with the police. I wrote him a letter. I wrote him 2 letters, actually. And the guy called Tony Ten, I think it is, from London, talks to Brian. I said, he texted me, well done, Terry. So I text back, thank you very much. I'm with Brian now. Within 20 minutes, the police were at the door. So I said, I'll get it behind the curtain. The police had all my feet are showing. I'm laughing. Brian went to the door and he said, look, Teddy Dicko. He said, no, he's gone. He said, we've had his no, he's gone. He said, what's it about? So Brian explained the cop, it's not just totally stalker, is it? So he said, right. So what basically happens? He said, right, I'll get Teddy to ring you. So I rang and met the police here. And the cop said, well, we just want to get your side of the event, Teddy. Oh, dear. Where were you when my boy was left for dead in Hollywood? Where were you then? Anyway, cut long story short, the police officer, he said, look, that's not to do with us. I said, well, let me tell you this. I'm not even obliged. Did you read the letters I wrote to them? He went, yes. He said, did they have my signature on? Yes. Did they have my name and address on? He went, yes. Was there any threats in there? He went, no. What you want? I don't even have to tell. We just want to get your side. No, you don't. I thought they were helping him. He's threatening to murder people, threatening to burn people's house, threatening to rape people, kill people's dogs. Yeah, Brendan Hyde, absolute gentleman, lovely guy. Brian's interviewed him, lovely guy. Forgive me what I said, but I can't forgive myself because I let that false sort of draw me in. He had cancer, God bless him. Boyle said to him, when you die, I'm gonna laugh at your grave. I'm gonna bum your dog. He put his dog up for sale. Dale had an argument with him. Boyle said, I'll stab you. And Dale said, I'll stab you. He tape recorded that bit, went to the police station and stuff, crying as though someone was going to kill him. Very scheming, evil man. And his time's coming. So then turn on Boyle, the young Asian lad called, I believe they call him Raggy. He's nephews to some of my Asian friends. And he basically said, I'm going to laugh at your grave when your family are all crying. The same lad, when I first met him, he's very thin. He had a massive scar on his head. He'd had a brain tumor, I believe. And he's better now. And he said, you know, Terry, if I seen him now, I'd kick him up and down the street. Thank you very much for sticking up for me on Brian's podcast. But what good people do? People, good honest people, speak well to people. You know, when he's threatening, sorry, I really jumped the gun there. When for the police officer here, and at that, Emma said to the police officer, look, he's done this and done that, threatened to rape me, threatened to burn the house down. The next one, they got Carol Edwards on the phone, who's Lee Duffy's, the mother of Lee Duffy's children. And she said, Emma said, we've got Teddy with the police. Would you speak to the police? She put him on loudspeaker. She spoke to the police, said, he's been threatening me in Teddy's name, blah, blah, blah. And the police officer said, right, we're going to give you a link. Will you send all the evidence to us? That's what she done. They said they lost it. So I believe he's being looked after. Every time he says he go on Facebook, I was talking to a copper. He said he went to see the coroner. He spoke to the coroner. The coroner told him about the injuries on Lee Duffy. He then said Lee was stabbed that many times and stabbed this. Look at Lee was our friend. I can't wallpaper over the cracks of Lee Duffy's life. He was a twat, right? Just like I am. And he said to me, if I ever hurt you, get me back. I said, right, I will. He then said, I said, I'd never fall out with you. I love you, me pal. He told his mother, Terry Dicko was the most genuine man I've met. Well, I fulfilled that because 31 years later, I'm still standing up for him. You know, I wrote the poems for him. And everyone I've said the poems to loved him. But the good thing is, now, is that we've turned the corner. Boyle has been exposed to what he is. You know, he's saying that the people over at Hartlepool are with him. You know, Big Richie Horsley is a lovely lad. He said that Boyle's put across that Brian said this, Richie said that. And the only thing I knew about Richie, he spoke well of Brian, they were friends. Now Boyle's been exposed, that was a load of shite. There's other people over there, load of shite. Vultures over there, doesn't want out to do them. Other people, he's even got flung out of the church. Flung out of the church, I've never heard out like it in my life. You know, our friend, Bram, he's known as the Stockton Strangler. He's a martial. He has a gym in the church. He's a committed Christian. When I first met him, he walked in the pub, my local, over the border in Middlesbrough, and I instinctively knew he had goodness in his heart. For whatever reason, then he turned to God after that. And when I revealed that to him, he went, how did you know? I don't know, just something about you. And, you know, I'm not saying I'm psychic or out like that, but it's nice when if you got God in your life, that's good. If you haven't got in your life, that's up to you. My life is more fulfilled having God in my life. You know, I don't go about and say praise to people. Because I'm a twat, I'm always messing about. But I believe in helping people. I believe in going on the way. And if you've got good, strong Christian beliefs, I'm a God-fearing man. You've got good, strong Christian beliefs. That's a good thing. You know, that's how I was brought up. And that's how marvelous parents have done that. With Boyle, his parents don't know about what to do. His father's a sweaty sock. I don't mean that. But I don't mean to be rude to anyone from Scotland. A jock. He likes to drink apparently, and his wife said he's just like him. I mean, but what he's actually done, he said all this, Brian, this and Brian. You know, Brian and Emma have got messages on the phone, and I believe they're going to thousands. Daily, constantly abusing him. Well, I find that quite upsetting. I find it annoys the life out of me. And I said to Brian, every time I put a post up, he attacks you. He said, you know why, Terry? Because I'm injured and you. But I've told Boyle, just come and knock on my door. And I don't, it's sad in a sense because my life's totally changed. I've been dragged into somewhere I don't want to go. But I will go there if he, you know, he's saying he offered me out and I run away from him. Listen,
I can't see that somehow.
Violence used to excite me. It still excites me when I see fights on the sofa and wives watching. Give them it. But coming to where we are, I honestly, truthfully, and on my heart, swear to God, I wish I'd never ever met him, set eyes on him, and as I say, that one night I'm in the pub, he broke his arm, he broke his finger, broke his coccyx bone. I said to him, "Oh, I had a fight with 4 lads out there. I'd done well and done that." And I thought, I go out, I don't have children. People smile, would you like a drink, Terry? How are you? I'm entertaining. You know, that's nice. I said, I have never ever in my life come across someone like you. He broke 3 bones in one night. I said, what's in you? And then I realised the drugs he was on. It's a daily thing, and you know he's going in the shops up at Stokely. I'm Jamie Boyle. I'm this, that, and the other. And Brian's been in there, and when he walks in, they're rolling their eyes at him. I can't go anywhere as well. He's always been polite. Always, never been a bully. Always been polite. And Boy planted shite in my head, and we'd had a little fallout. I've apologised, trying to apologise to me, and that's friendship. We've been friends over 30 odd years. And then you got a little tour rag like him coming along. That's all he is, a tour rag. And I still live at number 3, living now. You want to knock on my door. You know, what he does, he latches on to people with a bit of a reputation or a bit of character or, you know, naughty people. And he then uses them as threats against anybody else. I mean, Dale Brendan and I'd never met him in my life. Lovely man, author. And because I think I would stem from, he wrote the book on wrote the first chapter on Paul Sykes. I've met Paul Sykes. I put my foot across his face in Havana. He's with Tony Spenceley. And one of the lads said, I still shagging white peas. What little Crisp said that? So I went, me, Quentin Crisp. It's the naked civil servant, the film, the knackered civil servant. Well, the lad jumped up, he was going to get it. And Tony took him out, he was going to get a good hiding. When I think of how Paul Sykes died, God bless him, but he had a terrible name, a terrible reputation. And if you want to look at life and how life readdresses situations, karma certainly gave him what he deserved for the lifestyle he led. But to live on the street, to get pissed on, to get exit on his head, apparently all you could hear is when you heard about Sykes, you could hear his voice before you seen him. He was always bawling in Wakefield, but died a terrible death. And you know, I seen tonight or today, Boyle on the Lee Duffy book. Everyone's aware that Paul Sykes and Lee Duffy are my most successful subjects I've done. And starting about the shoplifters coming, you know, them books he wouldn't have had most of the stories out the books. I've got a lot of stories attributed to me, and he said he promised to pay me for the trailer documentary. As a friend of ours, I've never seen him since Lee was here, 30 odd year. Manny Bergo from Shields, lovely lad. I got talking on the phone one night. I think I remember you, Terry. Come down, have a night out with us. Stephen and Michael says the Newcastle, my friends. You know, they're good lads. Lee could move about and he was looked after and loved because he was a genuine lad. If you were his friend, he was his friend. But what Boyler's done, he's turned it all upside down. He's calling Lee. He's calling Lee's family. He promised to give money to them. He's got a cross tattooed on his hand. that I must be a Christian. You know, my date of birth is the 15th of the 5th, 57. It should have been the 3 6s. I definitely am. But if your friends are in trouble, you're there for them. With Boyle, he do it, don't I? And I've seen it. I think he's a Walter Mitty. He just wants to be somebody he's not. And you can't. He's never lived our life. He wants to be Brian. He wants to be me. He wants to be Lee Duffy. He wants to be Paul Syke. He wants to be Oscar Wilde. And he said something on the Jimmy O show. Oh, I'm like Oscar Wilde, me. I like young boys as well. He's got a young boy. His son Jameson. You know, he's got him in the house. And he's on drugs, watching gay porn. What about that kid? What about that kid? You know, and then his wife said to Brian that you had no right to mention my son's name. He said, well, Carol lives near where you've been filming. And she's with Lee, she's got the mother of Lee's kids. They live there. What about them? You wouldn't like it if your son was there. We couldn't accept it. And now they've got somebody, you know, somebody phoned the pub and said to me, they wanted my friend's number. He's a taxi driver. And said, poster. So they got his number. You tell Teddy Dicko he's dead. Does he still live on West Lane? Off West Lane, I do, yeah. Well, so straight away, I come on, done the podcast about Albert number 3, Liverton Avenue. I've then they said, oh, we the two Kevs from Hartlepool, pretend to be someone else. I know one of the Kevs. I knew his brother, God bless him, he's gone now. He has a son called Kev. I don't know him. Not them. He's tried to use them name to threaten me, but I'm not threatened or intimidate anyway. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I'm going to swear, I don't know. But I think to myself, you know, why? I said to Brian, and Brian's repeat on the podcast, you know, sometimes in our lives, we've got to look in the mirror and say, is it me or is it them? Well, quite clearly, everybody, the way the tides turned against him, and people now more aware of what's going on, they realise that it's him. I just can't. And what I keep saying to myself, repeating myself, and Brian confirm it, is that it's just so unnecessary. What's he achieved? Nothing. Notoriety being a little flink.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, after all of what I've heard Brian's side. You know, now I've heard your side, and
See, we
to be
don't
honest
tell
with
us.
you, I haven't got a good word to say about that tinfoil.
Yeah.
But when I've done the podcast with Emma, and then I've done one with Brian,
Yeah.
I did notice 15 accounts started putting dodgy comments, and like I knew straight away that was Boyle.
But he also
the guy's a complete fucking idiot, mate. I tell you.
Yeah, Steve. But what he also does, he also puts accounts up on false accounts. Oh, Jamie Boyle's the best author, better than J.K. Rowley. Fucking hell, Harry Potter, he's outsold him. Well, you know, he needs to. You look at him. I wouldn't want to the police or no one, but the only way it's going to be dealt with this, he can't go around threatening murder people. I truthfully honestly believe he's a mental patient. I have mental health issues. I suffer from post-traumatic stress, and I wouldn't want to put anyone down. And I've always said, get help with your out-of-control drug addict, so your wife and kids safe. But she encouraged him. It's not Jamie's fault. You know, I just think he's a wannabe. He's not an author. He's not a publisher. He's not a director. He's not a filmmaker. And he's not our friend, that's for certain. Now, I've said to people, look, if you're in the wrong, perhaps he might take on board. I doubt it very much. Jimmy, sorry. Just put your hands up and say, look, I was off me. Blah, blah, blah. It's over. You'll find that people can be forgiven. You can't keep 10, 15, 20 times a day. Brian, nasty text, you just can't do it. So you're going to get tough because you're absolutely with no one. You're not going to threaten the Brian rape his wife. Who are you? What have you done in your foil to tell anyone anything? You're not in my league. You're never in my league. You're a tour ride who wants to be someone you're not. And I can't say it more than that, Thursday.
Terry, I've just got a question here. Ask Terry about trying to groom his son.
Try the what?
Question there. It says, ask Terry about trying to groom his son. I think that's a Boyle.
What I do, Jimmy, I put my finger up the ass and put it in your mouth, shit bag. Listen, 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 I'm talking to you. Stop your behaviour. Stop what you're doing. Get some.
Trying to groom your son.
Oh, trying to groom my son. Absolutely. My son was left for dead by a paedophile. Trying to groom my son. That's the depth what he's gone to. Isn't that sad? It just makes me more determined to see you.
Contacted your young son.
Oh.
Young one.
Oh, sorry, yes, sorry, I'm with you, I'm with you. Sorry, what he actually done, my son, I have a son, Joe, I'd broke up with his mother, they went in care, he then tried to groom them, that's where we're at, he tried to groom my son, he called me, and it was him and his wife, and I thought, how sick can you get? Because we didn't agree what he was saying. When he said there, groom myself, I got a bit angry there, because I still feel that fire of the fight. I'm still fighting Cleveland Police after 31 years. You know, do you know what I even do, Steve? I don't give a toss for no one. You know what I do? I went in the club, I went and pulled them in front of people. And what you doing here? I've come to see you, you shit house. So I just think that no matter what you say, I say, or anyone says, he's in the right. So that clearly shows he's mentally ill. And his father's mentally ill. I believe his sister has mental health problems. I met his mum, a nice lady. I couldn't say anything wrong about her. But I do know that he's not allowed in the house. And apparently they've turned on and said they come through one of the family that stop tormenting Brian. Stop doing it. You're making us look bad and you're causing problems for the family. But of course you can't tell him now because he knows now. He's on about doing a book with Junior Witter. I got in touch with Junior Witter. I left a message. Please don't get involved with this man. He'll rob you. As he done to me, he done to others. But see in the future when it's all coming out. So I just think it's people need to be aware. People need to know exactly what it's about. There's a guy called bloody hell. Can't think of his name at the moment. Dennis Power, lovely guy. And what he actually does, he ran, I think, South Bank ABA Club boxing. Ex-Royal Marine, lovely guy. Boyd was going to his club and he barred him out. I believe that a collection box went missing. He barred him out. He caused problems. And just when we'd done something, he put something on, Dennis put something on Facebook when we were having a go. I can see another house move coming on. Because that's what he does. He causes problems in one area, then he's got to move. He's living at Skelton or somewhere in East Cleveland. And he dropped some other people and he had to move from there. He went in the Fountain, he had to move from there. He went to, he used Brian as a Mackenzie friend to go to the James Cook out to meet these Social Security, DHS investigators, whatever they were. He had to go and meet them. He said he'd give £500 to Tyson Fury. I can't. What Huey Fury's father? I can't think of his name at the moment. That's the name.
John Fury.
Oh, not John. His brother. Mental lapse. Sorry. Anyway, he said he gave him £500. Where's the receipts? He asked. Oh, I haven't got it. When he got outside, he said to Brian, I had them over there. They're still investigating him. So, you know, we don't go run to the police. I've never run to the police in my life. Never. But when's it going to stop? This man takes great pride in putting people down, threatening to rape a woman, threatening to, you know, burn her house down. I think she'd already been upset over the fire or what I let believe. Kill Brian, murder me. Well, and then my missus, I put someone on to tell you the day. It wasn't intentional, and that was Boyle and on YouTube. And I went, my missus said, turn that off. I can't stand his effing squeaky voice. Now, when he's in London, and put the post out, attacking Brian, attacking me, he's going to do this. Then he said, no, I won't say that. Change his mind. Please, Mr. Boyle, I'm talking to you. Say what you got to say, and then come and knock at my door, and we'll deal with it there. I'm not running away. Well, I'll deal with you, no problem whatsoever. You're going to kill me, I'm entitled to defend myself. I'll meet fire with fire. And that's my attitude. That's what I'm about in life. But it's more important for me to be able to go anywhere and be nice and polite to people. People say Terry's a gentleman, Terry's a nice lad, we'll have a laugh with Terry. But don't say it about Boyle. And when he's saying to Brian, I'm going to make you out, I'm going to school you, I'm going to box you. I believe that there's posters going up around Middlesbrough now. Has anybody seen the false author, this man? If you don't recognise him, I mean, did you see the haircuts what we put out? He went to the hairdresser and he said, can you give me some rock and roll? I'll get Emma to send it there. Can you give me some rock and roll? So he got he thought it was an Oasis cut. Jamie Boyle. They look like Susan Boyle off the X Factor.
Oh man.
Now he's saying, he looks like Paul Weller. I did. Paul Weller's film. He went, hey, yeah, I don't fucking look like that, do I? I'm going on the ground. So that's where we're at. And I just think what's going on is that he has to be exposed. And the only way this is going to be done is the police investigating. We don't run the police. You can't go threaten to rape people, threaten to murder people, you know, and then he's sending the police to us. When he willy-nilly is at a police car parked outside of his house. Somebody smashed his windows. Well, you know, I think Carol said something like it could be any one of the 2,000 because he's created that much problem and that many enemies. You know, what's he getting out of it? I think he loves controversy.
I did hear, Terry, that he did order some air conditioning, so you know I think it got delivered.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but, you know, if that was me, my missus would say, "Always tell he calm down." His missus doesn't. She encourages him. Now she works for the Citizens Advice Bureau. She's trolled Brian and Emma off that computer. Shouldn't be doing that. They have no right to abuse people's rights. Nobody wants to be named. The only time he ever. I don't know if she's. Please take when the my side of the story. Why would the police be so? The reason why they're so keen to get my side of the story because they think I'm going to slip up. They'd love to have me because I'm still the thorn in their side of my son's case. I've got a stunt I'm going to pull off in Middlesbrough. I don't know when I'm going to do it. But if I have to climb on top of the highest point in Middlesbrough, 220-foot transport a bid with a banner on, and name and shame these bastards, I will do. But anything to get me is get him, get Carter. It is, yeah, get me. So the point being is that how do they get the authority or to come and say knock at Brian's door to want to meet with me? Then to say, oh, I haven't done that wrong. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write him another letter just to put exactly what I've got to say. And Cleveland police can't do that because my intentions. Look, it'd be easy to bust his face in. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be involved in all that. But if he's coming to threaten me with violence and threaten to murder me, I'm entitled to defend myself. And if anybody, in honesty, I'll say this openly, if anybody deserved a good hiding in the life, it's him. But the way he's abused me, we know about our circle, what he's done it to. I've got no doubt whatsoever. Well, I don't know of other people who he's abusing. If someone dare disagree with him, he goes off it.
I mean, I think he's a disgusting man, to be honest with you, because I've heard, you know, some very, very bad stuff coming from that man. And
let me tell you this. He said to me one night, you know, I'm addicted to prozzies, ladies of the night. I said, why do you treat your missus so bad? Anyway, he said, no, what is when she goes down to her family's, it's Arrogate, North York. She goes down there, spends a weekend there. And the reason why she does that, because he threw his daughter, his stepdaughter about the house. She said to him, she had to go to him, how dare you speak to me in my house like that? So they had to get a taxi, cost them 40 odd quid to get where they were going. and they've never been back. Now, Shirley Amboy goes down there to see them, but the family need to be aware of what family to be, what's going on. So, you know, he's saying he sleeps with prostitutes. I'm addicted to drugs and prostitutes. He doesn't give his wife any praise because he wants all the attention. He dictaphones people. She records it. So I think I've said enough.
I'm glad I've had you on today, Terry, because you know awareness needs to be brought about this individual. You know, so that nobody else can go through the suffering what you, Brian, and Emma have gone through. You know, he's a horrible, horrible, disgusting man.
Now, can I correct you just there? See, no matter what he says about me, I've had worse. It's water off a duck's back. I'll just paint one more. I can't even tell. Oh, just thank you very much. My manager. He got me to meet a lady in Isaac Wilson's. That's where they used to meet people. So, will you meet this bed? She's interested in your books. She wants to talk about your books. It's all new to me, books, but I'm very well known in Teesside, in the northeast. Anyway, next one he went wants to meet you. So I said to my missus, "Will you come? I've got a beautiful stunning bed, mate. Will you come?" And next minute he went, will you? I said, "My miss, will you come?" She went, "No." So I went, "Oh, well, come on, no, go and sort it yourself." So I goes down and meets an Isaac Wilson's. Now, as you get talking, she come across like a bit like a goth, purple hair and dark hair, nice enough girl. So I said, "Where do you work?" She said, "I work in Appleby up in Matthews." Now I've got a good marvellous memory. I said, "Do you know so and so, so and so?" "No." "But you must do. They're partners in the firm." So I knew she was like. The next time I met her, Terry's nice. I like Terry, and I thought, "I what a beautiful miss." I'm 65. My miss is 33. I got a stunning bed, little bairn with all love. My family mean everything to me. Anyway, next thing, I get a text off, a message of Shirley Ann Boyle with a Terry. Jamie's done it again to me. What he's done. It's on my phone somewhere. I'll have to get. I don't know. As I say, I haven't got a clue away. I'll phone my missus give me. So what's happened? I've got a video from Shirley saying that he's at it again. He's always doing it, messing me about. This is what you done. Is that Jamie sat on a chair in his front room. His wife sent it to me. I then got in touch with the lady. Here, keep away from. Don't contact me again. You're going to break an happy family up. That was me sticking up to Shirley. And this is Jamie sat in his seat, asking this bird for al fresco sex. If you was doing it with al fresco, it's outside, up the barrel. Anyway, outdoor sex. He sat on his chair asking for outdoor sex. There's hardly poking himself in the mouth. I thought he had a gap in his throat. Poking himself in the mouth. And I thought, how bizarre. And his wife gave me that. It's on my phone somewhere. I'll have to dig it out. And then, I just think, what it is? How the hell? Look, are we not daft? We've been there and back. Me and Brian Decklet for years and years. We've heard every story under the sun. How that toll rag, that's all he is. God knows. Charm does into doing what we've done with him. God only knows. Because the compulsive liar. I was already warned. Think of the fall of me, I was already warned about him.
I mean, because even he was saying to a lot of people, as I quote, he said, "Oh, there's no court cases." And, I've seen the paperwork to prove that he was lying there. He's trying to tell people, "Oh, there's no court cases and Brian's not taking me to court." Bollocks, fucking Boyle. I've seen and I've got the proof. He was denying it. I mean, bullshit a Boyle. That's what I'm going to call him now.
Well, look at him. I believe in God and I believe in good and helping people. And I think I'm a committed Christian. I don't want violence in my life no more. But I was a dangerous, dangerous man. I think nothing of shivering someone. I think nothing of hitting someone with hammer and axe. I think nothing of running people over. And I have done all that. And I think to myself, am I going to allow someone like him to drag me back down that track where I've come out of? I don't want that no more. But violence still excites me. I'm not getting involved in it when I'm watching, as I say on the show, hit me with the hammer, stick the gun in his head. I'm losing it, man, because you're not right. Well, everybody knows I'm not fucking right. But he wouldn't have a chance with me. And then he's saying he's had 4 fights. He got disqualified once off an Asian kid, or well, I've been told our friend's son, nephew. And when he was in, a father of ours was gone now, John Peace, he apparently said to him, you can't box, sorry, John Dry, you can't box, get out. They put him out the gym. Then tell him, Dale Brennan, I got the Olympics with me fantastic left hook. Well, liar. So when I put it, I never said that. We did say it. So the facts of where we're at now is that the only way this is going to be resolved, you can't go threatening to murder people. If we go to get hold of him, he's got a panic alarm on him, I've been told. We run straight to police. So how does someone defend it? You know, Brian is still disabled. I'm not here. I'm at my own house or at my missus. So how can he defend his wife if he's threatening to burn the house down, threatening to rape his wife? The only way it's going to be resolved, and I encourage him, is to go to the police, let the police deal with it. The man is a dangerous man. Not dangerous because he can handle himself, dangerous because he's mental. And I certainly believe he needs help. I think he's psychotic. He definitely has multi-personality disorder. The man is a crank. And, you know, I've got mental health injuries, and I don't say that lightly, but I don't go about threatening and abusing people. I go out my way to try and do good deeds and help people. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But look, his life is about upsetting and distorting the truth. I've showed my evidence. Brian showed his evidence. Martin Taney showed them. So why is this fool still denying the fact that there is court cases? There isn't court cases. Well, he is.
I mean, he's a born liar for sure. And what Mr. Ball don't really realise, you know, because he's in his drug-induced coma at the moment, you know, with how he runs his life, he can be looking at 5 to 6 years inside, you know, for the misuse of the Communications Act, for starters.
Well, that's what I've said. That's exactly what I've said. You can't go threatening people. And I haven't got my glass on, but I'm trying to read something here. See, that like War Cry Publishing, the publisher of the books, it's not in Company's House, so it's not it's a non-entity. It's all coming right our way now. You know, they put put a video of me waving my hand out of a truck. I'm on the dock. I've never worked on the. Sorry, I've worked on the dock. I've never driven a wagon on the dock. I've driven about 30 years without a license. And you know, if you're going to work on the dock, the first thing they want to see is your license.
I mean, all of what I've seen, you know, maybe he's lucky that Emma and Brian are at school, because they had gone to the police. You know, Ball will easily be looking at 5 to 6 years now.
Well, he deserves it. He deserves it, because I've said to him, get help with your out of control drug habit. I said, get help with where you're going on. Brian said it. Other people have said it. His family have said it. If he's not going to listen and continue to do what he's doing, he deserves locking up. And then when he goes in, there'll be a reception committee for him. I wouldn't have any doubt.
I agree with you there, 100%. I mean, because anybody else, you know, the person would have lifted up the phone, got the police involved.
Yeah.
You know, because it's serious. You know, some of them threats that Emma's received, dirty and serious, and also when Brian was in hospital, you know, when he had the major spinal surgery, Boyle was sending messages to Brian's wife, you know, saying he was going to send someone round to grape her, and you know, and the poor man, he should have been in hospital for 14 days, but he had to leave hospital to go and protect Emma.
Well, I can confirm that, because what basically happened before Brian signed himself out, Emma said, "Oh, they're going to come round and do this." I said, "Listen, Emma, People who say what they're going to do and not going to do, don't do it. Someone who's going to do it, just sit in the bush, whatever, shoot you, stab you, and out the way, run you over. But don't do that. If you've got any problem, ring me and I'll get busted. I hope I'll taxi and bring straight up. It never happened. Brian then signed himself out. But at the end of the day, the man was recuperating. He hasn't recovered properly because of him. But I can guarantee you this, without a shadow of a doubt, Boyle will be taking credit for he had to sign himself up hospital. How childish, how petty-minded that wants to score a hit by putting a man and woman through that. He would not. So, I'm going to tell you a story here. We went to see someone once, and he had one of them belonging to someone. When we asked for it, he come up with a cock and bull story. Ryan just gave him a slap and knocked him 6 foot across the room. He got up all shaken. He was a coloured guy. He went white rather quick. He was all shaken, and he said, look, get it sorted. Oh, all right, big fella, all right, big fella. But the point of it is, you know, Brian doesn't have to get involved in fights. Brian now is not in the position to be doing that. But he has plenty of friends who've offered the services to help him. We don't want to go anywhere near Boyle because he's got panic alarms. He's having the police at his house. Send them to Brian to speak to me when I've done, which was established at the end, I've done nothing wrong. Because Carol Edwards come in and told the police officer everything what Boyle had done. I'm going to give it with both barrels. What I know on her, I can honestly say, my hand on my heart, I don't know anything on Carol. I hadn't seen for 30 odd years. So that's where we're at with him. And I just think it doesn't. I've said to Brian, look at Brian, it's never going to stop. The only way this is going to stop is if you report him. Now, I don't run the place. I don't run the place. The only way it's going to end. The only way.
I think, to be honest with you, I think Emma and Brian do need to approach the police now because.
I'd encourage them to do that. I wouldn't tell anyone to go to the police. I despise the police. I was walking down the road one day, 2019, and this guy went, "Copper, all right, Terry." I thought, "Oh, fucking hell, what have I done now?" So I walked across the road. So what have I done? No, I'm just saying, all right. That's strange to saying all right to me. Because when they've said, when good night, Mr. Dixon, outside my mate's club. Fuck off, what you make my fuck? You know, I can't stand it, I despise it. Oh, no need to be like that. Where were you when my boy was left for dead? So, you know, that's always in my mind. And you know, it sounds sad, and it is sad. I still jump up. I have flashbacks. I can still smell the alleyway where I found him. And you know something? Nobody's helped me. I've had no help at all. No help whatsoever.
That's shocking. That's very, very shocking. That you know, I'm sorry to hear that, Terry. You know,
I'll give you something better. I got access to social services file, and I couldn't believe what I was reading. Mr. Dixon, associated with well-known individuals, you know, Brian, Lee Duffy. Well, I'm a well-known individual myself. Mr. Dixon is a drug dealer. I've never been questioned, charged with drugs in my life. I'm not. Mr. Dixon, under the shotgunning, would not say where it come from. The kids who I did community projects with found it under the floorboards of an house with 3 cartridges. Took the gun off him. I took my house, I washed it down, wiped everything, cleaned it all up properly, put the 3 cards in an envelope, put them in the carrier bag, and wrapped the gun in another envelope, put in the carrier bag. And then what I done, I took them to the police station. I phoned the police. I'm going to band it in. Kids have found it. So the daft copper said to me, "What would you have done if you'd got caught walking up the road with it?" That's why I phoned you, you fucking idiot. That's why I phoned you. Then I said, write them off. Then 2 armed police officers who want to talk to you. I said, look, the kids have found it. I'm giving you it's off the street. I'm an award-winning community activist. I do community projects with the kids. There you are. So then that's what I told them. Then when I read the sheet, would not tell us where it come from. I did tell them the kids had found it, but I wasn't going to give the kids names, but them kids look up to me. Anyway, what basically happens then? What's that saying?
You're a legend, sir.
I'm very polite, very polite. Thank you very much. But I just feel that then they said, Mr. Dixon has murdered the mill, I've previously murdered the mill, and the bodies have been buried. Well, if you want your garden doing, I'll tell them they're there. I've never murdered anyone in my life. I've maybe said I'll kill you, figure of speech, but I couldn't live with myself with my Christian beliefs. No, I'm not like that. I've never murdered anyone. I've never attempted to murder anyone. But we all say things in anger, and at times we're out of turn. But no, so that's what I found out. So as a result of that, social services tortured me. I've given them as good as what they give me, and I'm a caring, loving dad, and I had caring, loving parents. But they think that they can abuse you and talk to you and put you, every option stab me in the back. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. But my day will come with them. And what I've actually said to them, Steve, and I don't fear nothing or death. You're going to have to kill me to shut me up. And they know that because I keep at them. You know, I might start with the poster campaign at Brown Middlesbrough. You know, the crime commission was asked like in a tour right. I've been lied to by the head of legal services at Stockton Council, Julie Butcher, that the chairperson of the crime commissioners panel who I complained about doesn't not there no more. I've now found out she still sits on the bench. So I'm being lied to by the head of legal services. I wrote them 2 weeks back, they haven't even responded. But now what I'll send a recorded delivery and I'll photocopy it. I'm taking a civil case against them. So the last thing I want is doesn't bother me. There's Boyle popping up here then, you know. He's a little tour, right? A shit house. Never had a fight in his life. When he was at school, he'd run to the prefect and grass people up. He's a plonky, a drughead, sleeps with prostitutes behind his wife's back. And he's not an author. He's not a filmmaker. What's he got going for him? And he's got a young boy at home, Jameson, God bless him, who's getting bullied at school because his dad wears women's clothes.
Tell me more.
I wrote a song for him. I'll give you what I can remember. Hey, hey, what you gotta say? Come on, Jamie, who can blame me? Now I bet the Doyle boy's been sniffing up foil. Don't tell his wife Shirley. She likes to go but doesn't want Jamie to know. Oh, oh, Jamie. Hey, hey, what you gotta say? Come on, Jamie, who can blame me? So his life's in a mess. His wife come home early, caught him wearing a hairdress. Oh, oh, Jamie. Cross-dressing just. Hey, what you gotta say? Come on, Jamie, who can blame me? Now I wrote another one for him, and I adapted this one. Eddie Grant. He gives his wife coke, and he calls her Joanna because he sleeps with a prostitute called Joanna. Give him coke, Joanna. Coke, Joanna. Jimmy wants some sexy fun. Now everyone know I'm not the author. The wife, she does it all for me. I just a crack it on Gabby's and some subbies. Give him coke, Joanna. Coke, Joanna. Jimmy wants some sex. I'm a bastard.
Oh man, I love it. Oh.
I don't know the verses,
Wow.
so but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's all good. I think that. So he doesn't like. Apparently, he doesn't like me songs. No,
Let's get that one print. Let's get that one printed and then let's send it to #1.
Oh yes. What? Now Tyson Fury after me? I'm up top in the chart for him. He's doing one himself, isn't he? He want to kill me. Oh, that'll be the next one. If I had knocked Tyson Fury off the top of the chart, Boyle said Tyson's my friend. I'll get him onto you. Yeah, I've got loads more verses with them. I'll get them to you. So, don't you want to?
Yep, I want to hear that the DH song,
What? Sorry?
Dicky Icky one,
Oh,
Decker Heggy.
I can't remember. I'll do it. I can't remember it all, but choo choo. Oh, you know he's wanking off in the toilet, don't you? Yeah. Choo choo. All aboard the Dirty Derrick Express. Now he's steaming on a roll and he's going down the track. The traveller boys keep asking as your DBS come back. Oh, come on, Dirty Derrick. Yeah. What you trying to hide? Being such a big man, you ain't got no pride. Now he's steaming on the road. He's going round the bend. But Dirty Derek's in the bog, pulling on his old bell end. Oh, come on, Dirty. Run away. Come on, Dirty Derek. What have you got to say? That'll do. I can't remember the rest. But yeah.
Ace. Ace.
Listen to this. So I wrote a poem. See if I can remember. Called The Duffer. Wild and dangerous, yes, he was. There was no lies, if, buts, or because. But when angry and without doubt, Lee the Duffer always come out. He'd then walk off at gentle pace to let Teesside know the real hard case, then greet his friends with a familiar smile, but often went missing for quite a while. It was usually Durham or Walton jail, in the workshop sewing bags for the Royal Mail. He'd then walk the prison landing without fear, with a big fat joint tucked behind his ear. Did not care who the hell could see, was all the screws say, it's okay, it's only Lee. So on that fearful night, his lifeblood did drain, only for a much bigger reputation to be born again. Now, 2031 up, 28 years have drawn near. His name, the Duff, still spoken loud here. So love a load and Teesside can't get enough. On 24 Key Raddy Crescent South Bank, he was the Duff. And for those who read the Old of the Moon, can't wait for the documentary new book coming soon. And as we wait in eager anticipation, the War Cry Press's new Blood Moon book publication, they think you've read it all before. By the Blood Moon book, it opens up another door. And for those who know me, must agree, there's no doubt about my love and loyalty to my friend Lee. So I wrote another one with Paul Sykes and Fred the Ed Mills from Newcastle. It's called Durham. From courtroom to prison cell, having to save time, this Victorian dungeon of hell. In that reception was quick and brief, but down the isolation block was waiting the chief. Sykesy was separated far away from Lee. A fight was brewing the school did not want to see. Now Sykesy had the Ed Mills had the war. But Lee the Duffer wanted to settle the score. Who was the prison daddy he wanted all to see? He even said Fred the Ed could be the referee. Now all around the prison grapevine, it was such a big fuss. But not for the grasses and nonsense getting off the prison bus. Meeting in reception, they give them all a clip. And I can assure you, not one dare set me lip. So as grasses and nonsense get the justice heads, and the good slap off the Duffer that really hurts. So don't run to the governor to settle the score. The Duff finds out, he'll hurt you some more. I love the lad, he's my friend. So yeah, so I'll get them to you, the Dirty Derek.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, is there any stories you can tell us about Lee Duffy? I mean, I haven't heard too much about the lad. I haven't really done much background, but
Look, I know all the Norton stories. I was there one night outside in the Havana. He'd just come up and picked me up. He loved me. And he said, if I ever hurt you, get me back one. And fucking right, I will. I'd never fall out with you. I love you. You can wipe the floor with me. Don't. I'm not misinterpreting what I'm about. But what he's seen in me is that I didn't give a toss. And he liked that. I met Lee when he was about 17. He was working on the doors. He went to work for a friend of mine, Dale Ensign Town. In actual fact, his brother-in-law, Paddy Maloney, has a book out called The Altar Boy, because he was altar boy at the church. And he was interviewed by Sean Atwood. And Sean Atwood, he said to Sean Atwood, there's a notorious, mischievous man in Middlesbrough called Teddy Dicko. Anyway, and he was telling the story about Lee going in the house, Tommy Harrison's house. Well, Tommy Harrison's likes to portray himself as or I think Steve Richards, who done the first book on Lee Duffy, portray himself as the elder statesman of the underworld. Well, I always got on well with Tommy, and he pulled a few strokes. You know, there's a picture of Lee, like a boxing pose, like that, and he'd give it to the lad for the prosecution. Like, and when I went to see, which I thought was wrong, but I said to Brenda when I went to Lee's house, 6 Durham Road, Destin, where Lee was in the coffin, little room to the left. I said, Brenda, to his mum, Brenda, I want to say something, but I want to say something, but I don't want to offend you. I was conscious that I didn't want to upset her. She said, what is it, Teddy? I said, look at Brenda, I love Lee. Absolutely love Lee. She went, Teddy, how Lee said to me, man, Teddy Dicko is the most genuine man I've met. I don't call people. When I'm out, people say, have you heard this? I say, stop. You're not going to tell them, don't tell me. But I'll go back and tell them what you're saying. I don't like gossip. Anyway, I said, Brenda, I'm not being rude. And just take some bottle. I said, Brenda, he wouldn't want the lad who killed Lee, going to jail for life. I won't mention the lad's name. You know, he wants to move on with his life. God bless him. I said, but Boyle keeps dragging it all up. It's not fair. It's not fair. Anyway, she said, I know he wouldn't want that, Terry, and I'm glad you said that because it took a loyal friend to say it. Now, you know, she changed her mind afterwards, but that's his mother, you know, she's entitled to do that. But I believe that, you know, I've seen Lee put £20 in old people's pockets, but I've also seen him knock people out. And as I said yesterday, I can't put paper up the cracks for Lee Duffy's life and make lies. If I wouldn't do that, I'd be deserting my own beliefs. But no, he was a good lad. And you know, many people didn't know. They just know the story. You know, the end of the Baskervilles. You know, fucking Lee Duffy's lurking somewhere, and that's how people see Lee. What is the myth has come is bigger than what he did. Run the town. He did achieve what he wanted. But people have got to take on board that he was abused, battered, and physically abused when he was a child. You know, they said he always sniffer, they called him. He always had the snotty nose. He had the big head. Lorna Lancaster, lovely lass, Christian, lives in Sheffield now. She took Lee under his wing. And even at the funeral, Lee's father turned on and said to Lorna, oh, hello, Lorna. Used to carry my boy about. Now, you know, Lee's brother died as well, Laurie. He had cancer and ended up taking his own life. God bless him. Jamie Boyle went to see Laurie and told me Robert Suggett, that he'd give permission for the book to go ahead. He never given no such thing. And I've put myself in a terrible situation. Like someone said, oh, Lee Duffy's public property now, blah, blah, blah. And to be truthful with you there, Steve, Lee would be loving this. Lee would be loving this because he always said there's going to be books wrote on my life. 2 weeks before he died, on 25th, 16th. No, sorry, what am I about? The 16th. He died on the 25th, 16th. Yeah, 2 weeks. Just done 2. Yeah. He said to me when it happened to me, 16th of July, 91. He come to the house, who's in the telly, we would kill him. And he would have done. We'll kill him. But that was just, for me, that was just a loyal friend trying to be there and be supportive. He kidnapped me one night and took me to Newcastle. Oh, he dropped me off. Said, Newcastle, if you come over Newport Bridge, you bastard. Anyway, we had a good night. But I remember that there's pictures of go on Facebook what the false authors put on. There's one old his little girl, Katie Lee, and he's got a lovely smile. That's how I remember him. In the ship in one night, which was our local over the border in Middlesbrough. Pat, and we absolutely loved the lady. Lovely, lovely, down-to-earth lady. Come out and she said, any trouble out of you, Duffy, you're getting that. Anyway, he said, honest Pat, very polite, very softly spoken, didn't happen blind. You never heard him shouting. And he went, you're getting that. But honest Pat, honest, I won't. Pat walked into the next room. And I went, Pat, he started. And he went, Pat, I haven't. I said, Pat, he's kicking off. Like, but also, he got a pint. Now, I told Boyle the story, but he got that wrong. Pint glasses, you know, a full pint glass, like a lager glass, you know. And he'd smack you on the forehead, boom, and it'd break. He was shocked you'd been hit on the end of the glass. And what are you doing? Then a minute later, and again, 3 times, and I'd run, and he just took up like that. But he was very loyal to his friends. He wasn't greedy. They say that Lee had this money and that money. Any money Lee had, he spent. He wasn't greedy. He'd buy anyone anything. I'll give you an example. He went in the Fleece public house, which is in our community over the border. And the lads, he could smell the dope, and he said, who's got the joints? Who's got the gear? And one of the lads told me, he went, oh, fucking hell, he said. He relayed the story only a few years back, 4 years back. He relayed the story to me, he said, it would be 2 years back, actually, 2.5 years back. And he went, listen, he said, we're in the place and Lee come in. Who's got the gear? And I thought, oh, fucking hell, Lee knows. So he said, give it here, got the gear, took some off. give him it back. Roll the joints, roll the joints, another joint. I don't smoke. He liked the joint. Anyway, Lee said, right, lad, thanks. He was off. He went somewhere. He'll attack someone. He come back in. He went, give me the, give me, he was in the fleece, the ship in by then. Give me the door, give me the tack. He went, oh, me, Lee. He thought he was going to take the rest of them. He went, here, give him an hand back. He lost one. But Lee, I can guarantee, Lee, they took that off someone. And there's another story, a friend of mine, little Bonk, Davey, told me. He said, I told someone a gold chain. He said, I knew it was snared. He said, just took this jeweller's, and he said, oh, yeah, it's worth that much. He got 170 off it, or 270, whatever. The next minute, when he walked by the shop again, the jeweller went, hey, you, that was a effing snare you've told me. He went, no, you were the jeweller, you checked it. Yeah, but it was a snare. He said, well, if you don't know, how do I know? I'm getting Lee Duffy on you. So anyway, so he was in the Trooper pub in Middleborough, in the Lintorp area. And he goes in the Trooper pub, Lee, and sees Bonk. He said, Bonk, just the man I want to see. As he approached Bonk near the pool table, this lad walked in, and Lee had eyes in the back of his head. He went, the lad walked in and tried to bastard. Lee went, come here, you, come, get here. Empty your pockets on the table. She was sorry, Bonk. He said to Bonk, sorry, Bonk, I'll take care of them. So he turned on the lad, socks off, took the money off him. So see you later, Bonk. My mate Bonk went, oh, thank fuck for that. But I'd also seen Lee put notes in all people's pockets. Seen him on more than one occasion. He was never greedy. What it was, he wanted to be the top dog. His father was batting hell out. Him and his brother be in the bats. And what basically happened, he'd stay for another session, Lee. Lottie, he said, oh, we've got to go. He said, no, I'm staying in the game, because he knew his dad would be coming up in the pub and he'd be the punch bag. And, you know, so when there's a friend of ours, Jigger Johnson, turned on and said to one, I forget who he was talking to, I think he even said it to myself, said we never knew none of that. So who can blame him the way he turned out? You know, and he was getting battered and bullied off kids. But what I will say, to Lee's credit, and good on him, that what he done, he went and got every one who battered him and battered them. And Brian was with him one time, pulled up in the car, and he said, oh, Lee, what's the matter? He said, he's one of the ones who was bullying me when I was a kid. He said, he only gave him one bat. But he was in the fleece, in the shipping. I was sat in there one day. No, I'll tell you his honesty. We'd all be in the shipping, then we go to the Robin Hood. When we go to Robin Hood, Christmas time, there was nobody there, so I tried the side door. Oi, 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 little Basin. Goes in, and they went, oh, there's no one here. He had a little Chinese cook in there. I said, I'll do the cooking. Hey, look, I said, I've got the eyes, right, I'll do the cooking. So what happened? I went behind the bar. I said, I don't know how much the drinks are, but say £2.50 or £2 or whatever they were. I said, right, that's what they are. And one of the lads said, fuck off, we're not paying. Lee said, you're right. I said, are you right? He said, we'll come up the club, we're not going to rob him as well. Anyway, later on, or the next day, I was approached by Reg, lovely lad, who had the pub. His house was nearby, Tower Green, he went to stay there. He'd left the door open. He said, Terry, I went for my Christmas dinner. He said, and basically what happened, I went back to the pub, there was loads of glasses on the bar top, I'd cleaned up. And behind the bar, there was a glass full of money. I said, Reg, that was us. No one weren't going to rob you. Oh, thanks, Terry, I appreciate it. But Lee was right. Lee said, no, we're not going to rob him, we'll give him it back. I was in the shipping, and I looked round, where's Lee? He'd already knocked the lad out. He didn't know this lad was 20 years old. He didn't know he spun for a friend of ours, Derek, who was no longer here. He'd had trouble. What you work at the bungalow to go to Derek? At least stuck up to him, but I don't know the full facts on it, but we were all friends together. Anyway, next thing I looked around, where's my best friend, Nosha? Where is he? I went out into the passageway, and there's Lee talking to my best mate, Nosha. I went, don't you dare, Lee. Nosha's my best pal. He went, no, I'm only having a bit of piss. But Lee would go that. He was a wind-up merchant. And the best way for me to describe him, loyal. But Roger's a nanny goat, as I was, and most of us was at that time. But to speak of him now today, I think Lee would have settled down. I think he'd love his kids. I'll tell you a little story here. I was in Central Public House, which is a bar I go in. Lovely people, nice company. I know most of the people in there. Might have been about 7 o'clock, whatever. And Lee's youngest daughter, she was 6 months old when Lee died. Anyway, she come up to me, she went, Terry, she always give me a hug and a kiss on the cheek. Hello, Terry, how are you? She said, you know, Terry, when I sit near you, I feel close to me dad. That makes me feel great, you know what I mean, Steve? That makes me feel great. But Lee had done wrong, you know. He just gone, he didn't give a toss for anyone. And that reputation, people, you know, if you had Lee was on the way, they were out, they were gone. And I've got to tell you, this one's a funny one that's in my book. I'm in this, what they call it, squatter's car. It used to be called the Empire. And all the drug dealers used to meet in there. And we were sitting in a little room. And next minute, he said, look at him, Terry. Look at him. He's half out the door. Who's that him? He said, he's nearly there. He's like a running comedy, like a, you know, horse racing. He's nearly there. He's at the finishing line. He's out the door. And there's another one sneaking up behind him. Next one, I said, Lee, there's no fucker in the pub. You've emptied the pub. He said, I know. I know. He used to see me dad, and my dad was like a quiet man, but he'd fight anyone, you know, he was a nice man. Took by his family, good dad. And Lee'd come to the pub. Hello, Mr. Dixon. My dad would go, come on. He's talking to Brian as well. But, you know, people have heard all the naughty stuff, and not all, they haven't heard all, you know, the stories I wouldn't tell. But I'd rather tell the good side of Lee, the honest side, the genuine side, you know.
I think I've got a question there from Andrew Johnson. He says, did Terry meet Brian through Lee?
Yeah, Lee, the Juice and the Havana. The Havana was a best rave club in Middledorf. And he'd come in with Brian. I was sawing a lump of wood. And Lee, I'll never forget it. He said, Brian, this is me, Terry Dicko, the Mad Axeman. And this is Brian Coughlin. I went, hello, Brian. I was sawing him, hello. And that's how we met. And we all became friends. And me and Brian kept our friendship, you know. And I think loyalty means everything. But I've got to say this, that Jamie Boyle put the wedge in with me and Brian on once, put me the wedge in other people. But people know you know, if I'm in the wrong, I beg your pardon, put my hands up. But yeah, but that we met then, and that we've kept our friendship.
It's amazing how good people come together. You know, it's like as if God sends down a prayer, you know, to get all the good people, you know, linked together.
I think, look, in life you've got to say, he's a good guy, you know, not too short, and you can drift off and shift you away, but I think life's too short. Life's too short. I've got the stage in my life where what might have meant something to me 6 months back, 2 years back, or 5 years back, not the same now. Because I look at things now and I think relevant, you know, like Boyle should have made to me. He's got no intention made me because he hasn't got the heart to do it. Because I'm a dangerous bastard. And if he comes at me with any bad intentions to hurt me, I'll severely hurt him. Not the right of defence. I'm entitled to defend myself. You know, I'm not going looking with Jamie Boyle. He's more or less accused me of doing his house. Someone said that he's blaming me or Brian for doing his house. First of all, Brian can't go. I've got no intention of going to his house. Why would I want to go with the boys? You know, but he's saying that, or his wife's saying that their son's there. Well, look at the problems what he causes. He's had a lad coming on the house, only question about the books where he's not been paid. Right, give him the money for the books, he never got them. Or he got a DVD, only had, I don't know, a minute's half play on it because he got it done in Holland. It wasn't compatible to what the equipment we using here. That's what to a forensic analyst of it. That's what I've been told. But the lad went on and Bob said to made him, I'll kill you, all on video. But he hasn't got the, you know, what Jamie Boy wants to be. He wants to be somebody he never can be. He wasn't there. He didn't know Lee. He'd never met Lee. And what I found quite offensive now was that, okay, I still go to Lee's grave. I don't go as often as I should do, but I have no transport. I'll get me mate bus at Christmas time. I'll put a wreath on. I did last Christmas. I might have missed the one. Oh, I didn't. I missed 3 years before I missed one. I can't go to them all. But when I was at the grave, there was Steve Wright from Newcastle, who's a good lad. Neil Jackson, the photographer for Steve Wright, Media Arts, I think they're called. And when we're at the grave, Ronnie is ex-father-in-law. He was there and we chatting. He didn't recognise me at first. I think he's getting a bit of Alzheimer. But then he realised who I was. But, you know, if 31 years I've stood by him, I'm not going to change that. I'm certainly not going to attack his family or his children or call the mother of his children, as Boyle was trying to situate and say I have.
Is there any questions in the chat that anybody would like to ask Terry?
Mightn't answer. Oh, God.
No stupid questions, though. Decent ones.
I'm not bothered. You can hit me with anything. If I can answer, I'll answer it. I haven't murdered anyone, that's for certain. As Cleveland Police said I have. I've murdered the male. I've murdered the male. I've previously murdered the male, and the bodies have been buried.
That's the other thing. What's your take? I don't know if you know anything about it or whatever. I mean, but just a question I got. What do you make of this Paddy Conroy saying that he knows where bodies are buried? I think he's delusional.
He's something, right? When he first came, it was said that he was looking at porn. I don't know the full facts on it, but I sent a message to him. Look, for you to look at porn, you're as guilty as the people who are making it because they're profiting from it. You know, hang your head in shame. But I said, I don't think he's a nonce. I don't know the full facts on the story, but to be viewing porn, he said he'd come up spam or whatever it is. That's what he's saying. I seen something the other night. He said it. Steve Wright said he didn't believe that, but he put that on. Steve Wright said I couldn't believe he put it himself. I wouldn't put up something like that. He said. So I think what's going on with Paddy. I think he's glorifying his old self. We're all too old to do what we used to do. You know, people are interested in listening to stories, which is fair enough. We've got hundreds of stories, but tell them and be honest. You know, I mean, I feel Cookie, I didn't know Cookie. He comes across like Stan Laurel, God bless him. But he's been now returned to jail on license. You know, Davy Glover, to be honest with you, he's a mental case. He was one of the ones who attacked Brian. And Cookie saying, oh, I'd like, I wonder if Brian had come on. If I went there, I'd attack Glover. You think people have got a small memory where you'd attack Brian, you put a gun down Buster's pants. So that was in Tommy Addison's house, the house of Oz with Brian, and it's been recorded as. But Tommy Addison, I always had him down, you know, he's all right. I was warned about him. He's not my friend. He'll never be my friend. We've done jobs for him in the past, and I just think, fucking snake, absolute snake. The elder statesman of the underworld. He's got a name like Shite, and people don't bother with him. He's now apparently in a bungalow at Eston, I think, waiting to die. But that's his business. You know, I don't mean that to be evil and horrible, but he pulled a few strokes on us. My friend Buster had made done jobs for him. He ended up getting jail. And now he's asking my friend Buster, will he make a statement saying that the solicitors got you to say it. There was a kid called Calvin Singh got flung out the window. He was murdered. Well, the statement was murdered. Some of my friends got jailed for it. A friend just got out recently. And Tommy Addison, Tommy's son Lee, he got murdered in Beirut. He got 9 years. Tommy tried to pervert the course of justice, sending Buster into a hotel to give this guy money when the police were there watching him. And now he wants Buster to make a statement saying, oh, the solicitor put you up to it. I told my friend Buster, let him get his other son to do it. Let him get the dude running about. He'll go to jail again for a cunt like him. So he's off the scene now, but, you know, Brian.
Another question there. It's how do you feel about the books on Lee now you're away from Boyle? Family members have said exaggerated pub stories.
Well, a lot of the stories, if I accredited Sally Dicko, I did tell a lot of stories. He promised to pay me. No, I'll give that money to the homeless, but I'm also getting homeless people running across the road now and things. I'm in the rush. I've got to get the doctors. You can only give so much and do so much. And I never made a lot of money off him, but I think he's exaggerated. He said that Lee went in a pub called Evan, I believe, in Blackpool. We know people in Blackpool who are naughty people. And he basically turned on and said that Lee got this lad, give him a bat. A load of ecstasy fell out of his pocket. They had the girlfriends with him and digs wherever they were. Next minute, Lee's run a knife through him. Just all exaggerated. I've never seen Lee with a knife in his hand yet. Seen him with a gun in his hand, but that was a toy for Lee. That would just be a toy, We've all had guns, there ain't no bones about it. But Lee, once in a taxi going up the road, he said, "Will he put the air conditioning on?" And he shot an hole through the roof. I don't bother talking.
Terry, have you ever come across Sean Smith? That
Liverpool? No, I haven't. No, he comes across a fair guy. I have friends in Liverpool. He comes across. I've seen him, funny enough, today, refereeing UK boxing or whatever they call it. But we have another friend in there called Stewie. Can't think his last name. Whatever. And he fell out with Boyle. But Boyle had told him that he had permission from the family to do the books. And when Stewie got in touch with Carl Edward, the mother of Lee's kids, we haven't given permission. So Stuart wouldn't have outdo him. I then go back to Stuart. Stuart, we're here for the benefit of Lee. But then I was used by Boyle. Stuart said, "Teddy, you're a nice lad." And he works with that Sean Smith. But, I just think, well, I believe he does. But I think, Boyle has based the books on telling lies and making stories up, which is not, our angle was, let people see the real Lee, the good-hearted Lee, not just this monster who, the reputation of, he was the tornado of the Teesside, and people, whether they're scared to tell the truth or, I think, for me, Lee had a good heart. Rather than nanny goat, full of frisk, pushed me over in the Madison one night, chipped the elbow, "You bastard," I'm like that, and I can run at him there, laughing his head off. And people said, "Oh, he'd attack his friends." Never attacked his friends. I never knew that. Not to my knowledge, But I did see him knock Mickey Salter out outside the Havana. And I went to pick him up. Lee said, "Leave him." I said, "I can't." And he said to Johnny Phil, "Look who I've just caught." And poor Mickey Salter is out. And I pulled him, put his back against the shop front. I don't know how long it was. If I say 10 years, I might be wrong. He was murdered himself, Mick. A dispute with one of the neighbours, and the neighbour who stabbed him to death, I believe. God bless him. I was also there when he tried to grab Brian's chain in the Blazers nightclub, and Brian ended up giving him it. And I just think, life's too short. Life's too short. And I can say this now and absolutely say it with my hand on my heart. Brian's life's totally changed. He's helping people. He's doing good in the community. Why should somebody want to mock and condemn that and try and destroy that the way Jamie Boyle and his equally evil wife have done?
Let's have a look. What's that say? Disgusting how he treated Lee's family.
I think so.
That's about Boyle.
Well, yeah, it is.
Family
I can't be reading glasses, but it is. And I'll tell you why. It's because, Katie Lee is a young girl. God bless her. I think she has a little bairn. He promised to give them money. So I'm going to give Lee's kids. We'll never give a penny. Then what he done? Mark Hartley, who was a lovely lad. Mark was with Lee when he died. I've been friends with Mark for years. Don't see much of him. I was up at Stokely, and Boyle. I didn't know enough about Mark falling out with him. Boyle, I said, well, let's go on, Mark, I'd be busy. Well, he said, oh, Mark said to him, oh, I'd like to have a drink with Terry. He said, but I don't think my mates could put up with him for long. And I went, so I said to the boy, you what? Put up with me. I'm the most polite lad. I'm full of frisk. I'll have them laughing their heads off. But I realised now it was all shite. I've never spoke to Mark. Mark's been my pal, Lee and my pal. You know, I have friends everywhere and I can be made welcome. But whether you're up there, out there, whatever, you know, equally, that little man and woman sat in the corner having something to eat or in the pub having a pint there equally is important. And it's nice to be truthful and polite to people, regardless what company you're in. With Boyle, I think he likes to betray himself. He said that he's like what the his name was, Oscar Wilde. He's going in a couple of years going to come out as gay, and you've already said it. If he's gay and that's what he wants to be, that's his business. Well, I can't sit and judge him, but have some respect for your kid who's getting tortured at school. He's got a little lad there who's actually been, you know, kids haven't gone to him because of him and his behaviour. That's not fair, right? As I say, with my lifestyle, I've lived a very colourful lifestyle. Would I change it? No, I wouldn't. I've had some of the best times in my life, in the deep end, as they like to call it. I've met all sorts of people. I've met all sorts of characters. I've met naughty people. I've met some really dangerous people. I won't go into them ones, but, you know, an organisation, you know. I've met politics. And, you know, but, you know, I think if you're nice and polite along that journey in life, no matter where you're from or who you are, if you were nice, people can warm to that. People don't warm to people threatening to rape people. People don't warm to people threatening to murder people and set fire to an house. How is this man not being locked up? I don't know. What's that one say?
What's that say, Andrew? Jack? Lee's ex was messaged as if it was Terry. Very sad. I've been onto this scumbag for time since he trolled a great lad, Dale, who had cancer.
That's right. That's what he done. Yeah, he had to go to Raggy. He had to go to Dale Brendan Hyde. And when that's what he said to Dale Brendan Hyde. Now this is the man who's got a tattoo of a cross on his hand with a chain, telling people he's a Christian, who got through out the church, just got no respect for no one. He said that to Dale Brendan, I hope the stress I called you brings your cancer back on. I don't know Christians who talk like that. You know, that for me is just low life little shithouse. And that's how I feel about him. I feel as though that regardless what he comes out with, I'm doing this, he's on about doing Brian Clough. The Clough family surely wouldn't want someone with his reputation and character. And it's only right and fair that people are made aware of what this man is about. He's not one of us. He couldn't fight one of us. You know, he's on about all this. Everything in his head is somebody else. He's a Walter Mitty. And I've said in time and time, I've said to Brian, look in the mirror, who's to blame? You've got to ask yourself, is it them or is it me? And Brian said that. And I've said that to Boyle. You know, and the issue is, no matter if you said it, I said it, Brian said it, or even the doctor said it, you're a fucking liar. You won't believe anyone. And the only way you can get any help is if he's sectioned. And that's, I truly believe in that, because I think he's a danger to the public. What if he does get off his box and does decide to set fire to Brian's house, or does decide to try and do someone's wife, or does kill someone's dog, because he's on drugs on a daily basis? So that, for me, that's the only. If he said to me, get outside and have a fight, I'd be out the door before him. But he's a danger. He's a dangerous person who definitely needs some sort of. He's multi-personality. He's Paul Sykes, Lee Duffy, Brian Cochran. He's me. Who else was he? He's Paul Weller now. Oh, that's who he wants to be now. I want to be like him, apparently. Chained to the radiator for 5 years. He's on about the Church of England envoy, Terry Waite. Where's the logic, you know? Where's the logic?
Well, I mean, the last time I seen the picture of Boyle, he looked like a tramp that was down and out in the gutter. I mean, that's the only way I can describe him.
I want to say this to you, that Brian's always been clean and tidy. Look at he can't use his Android, and Emma's there to help him and support him. And that's what a relationship's about. With him, he said he got Brian out the gutter, he cut his hair, gave him clothes, I think, and fed him. Full of shite. Absolute made-up shite waffle. And, you know, I don't know where he gets it from. I truthfully do not know where he gets it from.
Also, Andrew Johnson's put, Dal was tortured, then Boyle had him arrested.
Was that Dale as well? That's right, he did. And what he actually done, I mean, he actually did, and I'm embarrassed and ashamed. I was in bed, the head was up my ass, I suffered post-traumatic stress, and I'm not making excuses. I've apologised to Dale numerous times. Boy got in my head. My son was left for dead by a paedophile. He's trying to say that Dale was a paedophile. In the end, I said, fuck off, you nonsense. I deeply regret it. I'm deeply ashamed. I've apologised at all my times, but I still feel like guilt. And it's not right, and that's all because of Boyle. Dale's accept my apology, but I want to see him face to face and say, look, I'm sorry. If he put one on me, I'd take it. Because the man's in the right. What he's doing is trying to prove his innocence, which he has proven. You know, some bird said they'd done this, that, and the other. Absolute shite. And it's all proven it was shite. But he did do
Tim Foyle, informer. Yes, I would say that he's definitely got a police handler, definitely.
Yeah, well, what you got to ask yourself this, who was it from, Graham? What you got to ask yourself this, Graham, is that when he sent the police down to see me, I wrote a letter to Boyle last year and asking when he was off the books. I wasn't getting paid. The robbed us, they haven't been paid. The poems I wrote for Lee Duffy in the Blood Moon book, he had no right to use them. He used them on the false pretense of publishing, writing the book, like printing the book, what I wrote from a little girl called Ruby's Garden. That was a daddy wanting to make his little girl proud. Anyway, what happened is when the police come to see me, I wasn't in, it's Brian's. They come back, Brian made the arrangements, got the number, I phoned them up, met them here. We just want to get your side of the story. I said, I'm not even obliged to speak to you. What actually has happened? I said, did you read the letters? Yes. Were they signed by me? Yes. Was there any threat to them? No. So what do you want? I don't even have to speak to you. We just want to get your side of the story. I don't have to give you my side of the story. At that, Emma got Carl Edward, the mother of the children on. So I'm with Terry, the police officer. She explained what had gone on. The copper then said, right, we're going to give you a link. 4 weeks later, everything went missing. They'd lost it all. So what you got to ask yourself, I'm doing a podcast with Brian and Tony Turner from London. Good, well said, Terry. And thank you, Tony. I'm with Brian now. So within 20 minutes from making that message to him, as Boyle's watching it all, he's then phoned the police, and the police have shot here. Do you know? Okay. The police don't turn up half the time now, apparently. You know, they're too busy doing other things. Yeah? But maybe they're too busy loading the van up. That's what they did years ago, you know. They bodied the police van, went to France, to EastEnders, loaded up with drink, and sold it to the colleagues. How the fucking hell was that allowed?
Here's a good
How was
question.
that allowed?
You know when Boyle done the books for them ex-coppers?
Yeah.
Now, you know, I know that you have to have a relationship with a copper for them to, you know, give you the right to write the book. A quick question here. I think no high-ranking ex-cop would let a failed author do his book unless he had a relationship. What do you think, Terry?
Well, I believe in that. See that Morton, right? You got to sign the Official Secrets Act. I watched the program with Sean Atwood and Boyle. You can see, look at all these little wild eyes. Definitely not right in the head. They're sniffing all the time. He said, "Oh God, me boxing career." He had 4 fights, right? I've got to give you that one. This is the 4 fights. Sorry if you don't mind interrupting. When I said the song, "Give him coke, Joanna," give him coke, Joanna. Now everyone know I'm not the author. The wife, she does it all for me. I just a packet. And Gabby's handsome subbies. Give him coke, Joanna. Now Jamie C. Just company. Now Jamie C. a boxer, but we all know the score. He only had 4 fights, but ended up on the canvas floor. Give him coke, Joanna. I hope you watch it.
That's an absolute classic, that one.
The verses to it, and I'll give it. But yeah, coming back to the informer and the police come to my house. Well, since when did he have the authority to command the police to come and see me? I told them straight, I'll be honest with you, I will not put up with any shit from Cleveland Police. And when they've interviewed me in the past, I turn the machine off. Then they've said, do it again, we'll have you for preventing course of just interfering with the officer in the course of his duty. So then I'll ring the bell on the side, you know, the panic bell. I'll ring that. When they all come in, room service, take me back myself. But I don't give a fuck. And what can I do with someone who doesn't give a fuck? And that's my attitude. In the pub, in a general setting with people, I'm the most polite man walking. Don't get me wrong, there's police officers pulled me in the street and said, Terry, it's all wrong what they're doing there. You keep at them. Of my son's case, who was left for dead by Peter. You keep at them. It reflects on us all. So I respect that. And, you know, because some of the fathers, they have kids themselves, and they're saying it reflects on us. But they're all controlled by the top, who are all corrupt. And now you've got a Tuppen Safety crime commissioner who's just as bad as the one went before him. So I'm still on fighting them. But coming back to where were the police, how can Boyle command the police to come and see me within 20 minutes? How can he be doing books and speaking to coroners when the family haven't got half the information? How can Boyle get it? What coroners give him information? If that be the case, I know it's lies, but if that be the case, he should be locked up. And when a copper, Ray Martin, says that, oh, everyone says, I know I sound the official secrets act. Everyone said, oh, good on you, Ray, what you doing? Fuck off, you pack of shit houses. What they done, you know, Mark Hartley was covered in Lee's blood and they put him in the fucking cell, I think, for the weekend. Covered in blood, the evil bastards. That's my opinion.
Same cop told Boyle stuff Lee's family didn't know. Very strange. I think the cop was around in Cleveland police corruption many years ago.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was Operation Lancet. My son's case was involved in that. But what it was there's a lot of us centered on Ray Mallon, who was a corrupt police officer. And what's happening, and when he sees me in the street, I'll tell him his fucking face, to be honest. But I did threaten him when I hit the MP on the head with the egg. I threatened to give him it. I'll give you as well if you want. Oh, no, you will. He knows I don't give a toss for him or any of them. But a lot was centered around Mallon. And actually, in fact, the chief constable at the time, I don't recall his name, said Mallon ran an empire of evil. They all got off it because Mallon had information on those above him. And that's why they got off with it. I can go into more detail, but there'd be one person who would be embarrassed over it. So I don't need to mention, you know, when Cleveland police is sanctioning things for people to obtain for other people, you know, and serious acts are committed, it's fucking disgusting. But that's Cleveland police for you. Now, if you try to get hold of me tomorrow and I'm not available, they might have me in the cells. I don't give a fuck.
And if this podcast gets taken down, Boyle struck me.
Well, he texted me the other week, Yanni B. He's had an interesting life.
Oh, mate, I'm in talks at the moment with Yami B, believe it or not, behind the scenes, because that guy's got a story, and we've had a bit of back and forth, and I'm praying to God. You're listening, Yami? I want you on, sir. I've been talking with Yami B, and I'm trying to get him on, Terry.
Yeah. Well, I'll try and mention that I've spoken to you, you know. But you know, I've only just befriended him. But I think it's nice that, you know, look, we never had this years ago. There's that many keyboard warriors. They're going to do this. The first thing what people don't realise, for any would-be criminals, I hope you don't take up our lifestyle. Young kids, get yourself a job. That could be beneficial to anyone going into schools and talking. I'd love that. Alas, give me an opportunity to get in touch with them. I haven't done it. I was busy with something else. But I'd love to do that because always being community-minded, I've always had that goodness in my heart. And I think if I can take kids forward and say, look, crime doesn't pay. We all know the story of the tortoise in the ground, you know. But
let's touch a little bit on the Home Office award that you got. What was that surrounding, and how did you get that award?
What had happened? The kid nearly got run over next door to me, young girl. I think she's about 6 at the time. Well, yeah, it's only a young girl. And the kids were racing down my street to go on, cut across Nile Street, and just racing down doing handbrake turns on the grass. So I asked my nephew, I asked him nicely not to do it. Then I told him, and then I warned him, you're not doing it. So, not so nicely. So I got my nephew with the JCB to plonk big lumps of sandstone on the bottom of the street. Then the kids sold me some wood. I had them make a picnic bench, so they were part of it. And then I heard them say, anyone touches that bench, we'll kill them. You know, so I'd give them pride. And for me, it was a marvellous achievement. We were trying to tidy the area, but the council had already made a decision to pull the area down. But what I'd done, I built them a log cabin out of slab wood, you know, with the back on of the front of it, a window and two little doors, a bench at the back. It was built on stilts with a veranda, little steps to go up to it. And when they were knocking the pub down, I built it against the old pub wall on Now Street. And the council guy phoned me up, I forget his name, Jim, I forgot his last name. He said, do you want to take your shed down? My shed? That's not my shed. That shed was built for the kids, with the kids. It's their shed. Why? What's the matter? Oh, we want to pull the building down, but we can't pull your shed down. All right, I've got you, you bastards. So anyway, so I said, well, it's not my shed, really. I said, has it landed on your desk? He went, yeah. So I'll tell you what I'll do for you. Get me some money to take the kids up the river on a boat trip. I went, anyway, no, forget that. Get me some funding to take the kids to Flamingo Land and you just pull it down. So I got funding, 2 coaches for the kids and families to go to Flamingo Land. I went on my friends in business. I collected, well, there was 30 envelopes for the 30 kids with £10 in each envelope for them. I find that very rewarding. The kids love me. And as I say, when I go to the pub, can we buy you a drink? We haven't forgot what you've done for us when we were kids, which is, it comes from the heart. So I've done that for them. I put a bonfire display on for years and years for them and the full community out. And even today when I get talking to old friends, do you remember the bonfire? Do you remember this? And it's nice to reminisce, you know, but that's what happens as part of a community. That's what happens. People, you know.
Just a quick question. Have you ever come across Stephen French?
No, but I know who he is. The devil. Yeah, I know who he is. He's got his life sorted out, just doing well himself, yeah. Good on him. Liverpool kid. I know the young ones look down on him, but he's doing good for them. They can't see it. And he's about gun crime and whatever. I mean, no further than that little boy Blue. Reese, who got shot by Mesa. And, you know, you think about that, there's kids, you know, there's kids around it, firing guns like that, it's senseless. But it's that drug culture in Liverpool, will always be there. But Frenchy tried to do something about it, I know that. But they will look at him and say, you don't know what you're on about. Well, he knows more what he's on about, what you've ever done in your life. So credit to the lad.
I mean, it's hard, especially, I think, once you're in that gangstery world, you know, with the underworld and stuff, it's very hard, you know, to come out and to reform the character. And, you know, you and Brian are both brilliant examples, you know, that leopards their spots.
No, I think so. Look, listen, this is how my life is. Now, if someone said to me outside, I'd say, I'm too wise and too old to be getting involved in fights. Don't fight someone wants to have a fight. Get outside. I'm too wise. The third time, get outside. Fucking come on. Win, lose, or draw. Come on. But you get to a stage in your life, it doesn't matter. It's not important. You know, I'm not 21 no more. You know, I'm that quick with the tongue. I think I can talk myself out of most things. So, you know, that's what I think now. And I think that it's rewarding for me to have young lads saying to me, oh, Teddy, we haven't forgot that. Or can you get this from me? Or can you help me there? I also get assholes around me who feel the need, they want to tell me, have you read this, read that? I'm not interested. I'm not interested in gossip. I don't call or condemn people. And when people do it to me, I say, stop. If you're not going to tell them, don't tell me, because I'll tell them what you're saying. So I prefer, I keep myself to myself. I have a laugh in the pub. I have a joke when I go in the pub, maybe, I don't know, a couple of times a week. A couple of times a fortnight. And even I don't drink as much. I get away. I'm still going all day with me friends, my nephew. I still get out and about. So I'm invited to a wedding have to do on the 18th of this month in the big church in Ormsby Middle Road. My nephew got married in Cyprus. Had a great time. We paid for it. One of the best holidays of my life. I've been all over the world. I've been everywhere. So my life now is at the stage where I think if I can pass some information on, I pass some knowledge on to help and support someone. If someone said, "Oh, my nana's fence is down," get the materials, I'll do it for you. Find out that's my good deed for the day. And it's important to me. And it was then and still is now.
Do you think there's anything else for us to cover, or
I just think that, as I've said with the Boyle, I wish he'd stop trying to bully Brian, because out of misloyalty or misdisplaced loyalty or whatever, someone might just say you're not getting away with that. You're bringing trouble for your family. Just stop it. Get help with your issues you've got, drugs and multi-personality disorder. You need help. And it doesn't do any good when his wife's encouraging him, "Oh, it's me who's went to the police." Well, you can't abuse people and say you're going to the police and they continue to abusing people. You were the ones who the instigators. As I say, I've got loads of stories in me and all that, what's gone on in my life and what's gone on with Lee and other people. And it's nice for me. I'll say this, that whenever I go to Lee's grave, we have another friend called Peter O, who was murdered, God bless him. Bodybuilt, kept himself fit, lovely lad. His brother Anthony's my pal. His brother Tom died, and Peter's in the same grave, but they're on the same letters at the same row as Lee. Next door's Robert O, his brother, and then on the next block with the same row, Peter's there. And every time I go to somebody, I always wipe the headstone down. I don't get, "Oh, that was good, you Terry," because I don't really say that, but it's important to me. There's not much I can do. He's in his grave and gone with his brother, God bless him. But it's nice for me just to give his headstone a wipe down. It's nothing. Jamie Boyle could never think of doing something like that. He'd take pride if there was shit on the gravestone. That's how this man operates. I think he gets pleasure out of upsetting people and causing disruption. But if you put on his toes, "Oh man, mate," he's using Paul Venner's name a lot. No, I don't. I think I've spoken to Paul Venner once. He's with my grandson. We've got children, and I just, I hope he realises and gets away from, like I've said to other people, get away from, because he's trouble. So listen, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on. As I say, what we
be on? 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah. So I'm glad that Brian come and got me to say it. I'd like to say a massive thank you to the people who've tuned into it. And as I say, with Lee was my pal, Brian's my pal. I don't tell lies. I don't bull people up. And the proof is in the puddings. No matter where I go, I'm made welcome. I have some lovely friends. Some people I don't see for a long time. When I do see them, it makes it even more important. I just got back. I'll tell you very quick in here. Last year, I got invited out to Dubai. Then they changed the mind. They met me. Amazing Greece. I went to Greece. Spent 10 days in Greece. Then went to 10 days. Over that, stayed 10 years. Looked at, which I'm very grateful and thankful. Last the 9th of September, I was invited to a wedding. It didn't cost me paid for by someone very close to me. I've now been invited to a do on the 18th after wedding party. If I was a scumbag in the shit in Middlesbrough, I wouldn't get that. I know I'm a good guy. When people see me, they smile. And we had a marvellous time. So all you good people out there, everything what I've said about Jamie Boyle is the truth. I don't tell lies. And if he ever gets the bottle or the ass, just come and knock on my door and I'll deal with you the way you said what you're going to do me, murder me. I've got a right to defend my life. You do what you got to do. Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you very
Terry,
much.
it's been an absolute privilege to have you on, sir.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully, somewhere down the near future, I can have you back on and
Yeah,
get
whatever,
some more of
mate.
them
Whatever,
stories.
whatever.
But as you can see, guys, the guy's been told here tonight. Everything's the truth. I've got documentation that'll back everything up that's been spoken about tonight, and you've got a better understanding now of how dirty and disgusting that tinfoil actually is.
It's just it's got to a stage now where it's beyond a joke. He's making threats to murder people and do this, that, and the other people. It's not on. It's not acceptable. And he's the one who's under the police. The police need to be looking at him with a sidecar. He really could do with going in the mental hospital because his sister's got mental issues. His dad has mental issues. Obviously, runs in the family. I'm not holding that against him. He can't go out threatening, abusing people. Certainly not people like us. We're not going to take it. I've never been near his house. I've never smashed his house. I think last time I was anywhere near, it was 2 years back, I was in the skip wagon with my nephew was wagons. And I don't want now to do it, and I wish I'd never met him. But thank you so much, everybody. What you need from me is the truth. Thank you.
Cheers, Terry. Thank you. You're a star, you are, sir.
Yes, Steve. Thank you very much. Right, come on.
You take it easy, Tel.
Yeah, my little missus waiting for me.
she'll be wanting me guts for garters, won't she, for me keeping you so long?
No, she's all right. She's all right. She better have me tea on when I get in.
Terry, thanks ever so much.
Look at a sandwich. Take care.
Cheers, brother. You take it easy. Bye-bye. There we go, guys. Brilliant guy, Terry is. Top guy. So we've heard quite a bit of Terry tonight, and I'm glad Terry's allowed me the privilege to have him on. Another great guest, and I don't think I'm going to get them songs out of my head. Cracking guy he is. Top bloke. I can honestly say I thoroughly enjoyed the chat, and his songs. His songs just made me laugh. Classic guy, Terry. Another prime example that leopards can change their spots. I'm going to put the link out if anybody wants to jump on for